thing with addiction is never say never because you're an addict. Like I never
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are a week removed from People in the Boxes now. We're coming back strong, you might say. Tonight, it is Thursday once again. It's 4/27/2023 for all you rumblers over there wondering if this is current and live. It is. We have some interesting topics tonight, but first of all, let's get our friends up here. See, Melanie's... Okay, she's in. She just has to turn her camera back on. I am going to start sharing out here, guys. I'm going to share to my group, my page, my profile.
Ask him to...
Sorry. I can hear you.
I don't... Oh, sorry. I didn't see, like, where it says camera off or whatever. I don't have a box. That's why I didn't know I was in.
Just hit the camera button.
Oh, I know. No, I know. I know how to do that part.
It just wasn't telling you that it was off. I see. I get it. What's going on, everybody? So what's up, Jason? How you doing, man?
Doing great, guys. Doing great. It's been a long couple weeks without you guys. I miss y'all. It's freaking. I mean, I wish I was there last Thursday, but y'all had an amazing event last Thursday. I'm just it's still seeing the pictures and everything from last week. It really fills my heart. Fills my heart. Still hearing the stories, hearing the replays, hearing the connections that people made last week together. You know, it was really, really awesome. So
it was worth it for sure. I mean, all
Definitely.
in all, you know, for a place out in kind of in the country, and then it was our first event and everything. So, but all in all, I think Steve-O and I killed it, and I think we had fun at the same time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I am just trying to share us out a little bit, very, very little, because I get blocked as soon as I share.
Yeah, Ms. Heather, can you share us into the group, please?
I already did.
Oh, you got it, Steve-O? Appreciate it.
Yeah, one of my first ones. Yep.
Yep, appreciate it. Yeah, we're usually on the SSS, but Thursdays we've canceled the SSS now, and we have full time over here. People in the Boxes on Thursdays now. So.
All right, that's all I can do. I can tag.
How's it going, everybody?
What's up, everybody in the comments? Appreciate you guys. Hello, everybody. Kenny, Tony, everybody. Good evening, guys.
Hello, everybody.
Charlene.
Hi, Charlene. Whoops.
What?
We keep doing it at the same time. Go ahead.
One of my favorite superheroes says this. Charlene. That's all I wanted to say. Hi, Denise. Happy Thursday. What's up, everybody? Guys, I am like shivering. I was trying to rep my shirt here, but I can't get warm.
You can come to Cali. I'll give you some of Cali.
It's 72 in here. I shouldn't be cold. Like this shouldn't be a thing right now, but it is. Yeah. Anyway,
this cereal milk smells like gas. Just.
Oh yeah, I have some that I haven't opened yet. I'm gonna wait till Tuesday. Actually, I have some Gorilla Glue. I kept thinking it was Gorilla Glue 5, but it's actually just says Gorilla Glue 0.5 is inside there.
0.5.
Like, oh, that's a new one. 19 people in the house. What's up, everyone? Please share us out.
I ain't got no lights on right now, but we got 19 people in the house and only 6 reactions. Come on, guys, hit that reaction button. Give us something. Even if it's the meme face, I don't give a damn what it is. Give us some type of reaction. Be like, oh, these guys fucking suck. There ain't no pretty girls on the screen. What are we doing here?
Well, I'm going to try and fix that. Let me post the link here. Let me get through the housekeeping, guys. If you want to definitely follow all of our people that come up today and share their experiences. Also follow myself and Sir Steve-O over there on Locals, and check out the 42710 Smokers, you guys. We got a lot of stuff coming up this summer, so keep an eye on us. We'll all be doing different things. If you do send stars, you might notice that is part of the page now. If you send stars, it definitely helps with shipping and more giveaways and all that sort of thing. So, like for instance, I would love to tease this as a giveaway. I guess that's what I'm doing, but I'm not shipping that out right now. It's going to be like $15 or something. I can't do that, but maybe one day. I have to get a scale. Is it a shipping scale?
Shipping scale?
Anyway,
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah,
All right,
I just use my regular scale usually, but sometimes it's over the max and you can't use it.
Charlene with the 50 stars. Thank you, Charlene. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you,
Definitely
Charlene.
helps. It definitely helps. All right, so I did pull up a lot of information, but we don't need to just go straight into that because this is it's a topic that has a lot to do with emotion, but also a lot of people approach it with more logic instead, and so that's where I think you come in with people having butting heads on a lot of these topics.
Well, a lot of people, it's religious too.
Right,
and completely, 100%.
Well, and when you talk to someone religious, they're so matter of fact that to them it is logic. You know what I'm saying?
Then it
like
comes into
everything is
political standpoints too.
Right. Yeah. Right. And in politics, a lot of times gets mixed up with culture because culture drives politics, and that's why I am where I am, and that's what I'm doing. That's what this show is for. You think you're going to see a show like this on NBC or Fox or any of these network television? Even some of these online syndicated sites now, they're not going to play this stuff. They're not going to put real people on talking about real issues. You're late. No, it's okay, Lane. We're getting started. We're just getting started. I do want to point out what the specifics are because I didn't actually pay attention when this was happening. I heard a little bit about it. And you know what's funny, Jason? This controversy didn't actually come out until after we thought of the topic, and the topic was linked to another problem, another issue that happened before that. And I'm not trying to beat around any bushes, but there was a shooting that happened in Nashville, and you guys may have heard of this. It was publicized and propagandized from all angles, every side. And the person happened to be transgender. So it became such a big deal because of and what I find is like the issues that are like a minority of the time get more attention because they're unusual, because they are rare, or like a school shooting in general. It gets a lot more attention because it's something that's not supposed to happen. But if you're to go somewhere where there is violence all the time, you're okay with it because that's normal there. So to me, it's like it's very annoying when people want to feign what's the word virtue signaling, where they just want to they just care about everyone. Well, but they never bring up those other issues where people are being harmed, and so to me it's very annoying when people really focus on something like this instead of the stuff that we could affect on a larger scale. Homelessness, inner city violence, a lot of things.
I mean, there's so many things. The hunger is a big one to me. I see these people. It's really, really come down to an issue for hunger with me. I think there's not enough money sank into the food programs. If you want to eat healthy, you got to pay more. If you want to be a fat slob and unhealthy, it's fucking 50 cents per burger.
Right. You're incentivized to eat unhealthy because then you're hooked into the medical industrial complex, the insurance scams. All of these things are working in conjunction, and I think this issue is really just one other thing that they are trying to use to sort of divide everybody in the West. And I think when I say they, I mean there are a lot of enemies to general Western thought. General the West. You could just like that's what they call us, and that that means England and some of Europe and all that kind of stuff. Basically, the colonials, right? The people that were the most recent conquerors, I guess, because everybody conquers, and so they sort of put us in this. I want to stop and say something, you guys. I'm really annoyed by this. I'm tired of people getting put in boxes. Wait.
Good one.
All right.
That kind of took me by surprise. I was like, wait, what?
I thought of that earlier.
It was good, Waylon. It's all right. I thought it was a good one.
It wasn't bad. I liked it.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. But no, like I think people get upset with the words like discrimination, and honestly, that's not a bad word. We all discriminate every day when we make decisions. But the problem is we go to these sort of extremes, and then you have people all over the country with opinions, and that's where we are here. Like none of us were involved, right? But I think it's a good discussion for us to have. And a lot of people are kind of afraid of this discussion, but I don't see why. Why should we be?
I don't
Most
think
of
you
us
should be
overlap.
scared because opinions matter.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has their own opinion. And with you saying that everybody that we discriminate every single day. We don't discriminate. We immediately judge. But if we can judge and then accept, look past that judgment and understand because of education and accept,
look deeper, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then we're good. Because
look past the initial,
we're going to look at somebody that has some kind of cancer on their face, and all of a sudden we're going to be like, oh, fuck. It's an automatic reaction. And we judge like, oh, fuck, what the fuck happened to them? What the fuck did they do? Not knowing that it is a medical condition, not knowing that they were in a tragic accident, not knowing this, that, or the other. But then when we get informed with the education, the knowledge is power. That is when we accept. So it's not automatically discrimination. We're not discriminating.
Well, just the definition. Yeah. I'm playing on words there because the definition just means to make decisions. To like you discriminate what kind of clothes that you put on. You're discriminating what kind of food to eat. And so it's just I try to take some of the charge out of these words. Like tonight we're talking about Bud Light, guys. The word gay. Gay. What is gay? Like it's been a lot of things, right? But what we call gay now has been around much, much, much longer than the word gay. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's just funny how terminology changes. People adopt things like slang, and we also create new words. It's very interesting. And not to get off on a tangent, but don't you guys think that I'm almost to the point where I think Egyptians were much, much more, not Egyptians, but whoever created the pyramids before them. All the hieroglyphs on the walls, they're basically emojis. So like, we are going to that point. Eventually we only will talk in emojis. Like it's insane how we're almost going back around to the
ones and zeros. We're only going to talk in ones and zeros. That's what we talk in now. As soon as we start typing, it's ones and zeros. As soon as we hit that live button, it's ones and zeros.
Why should I be careful, Facebook user? I mean, I'm not afraid to say it.
The word gay.
Shouldn't be afraid to say any of these things. Like it's part of our culture, and maybe we're not going to all sit here and go, oh, let's come up with the answer. We're gonna sit here and tell everybody what we think we should do. That's not what this show is about, you guys. Mm-hmm. Like I want to hear perspectives because I think we all tend to latch on to what might be getting put out in the media, and we fall victim to that even on Facebook and every other little app out there.
Facebook user right here. Can you give StreamYard access to your stuff so we can see who you are? Not exactly sure who you are, but would like to personally say hi.
If not, we'll figure it out.
I'm going to go to GrowFam and put the link in over there. I should have done that. Yeah, I want some perspectives, guys. Let's get somebody up here. If you guys, listen, we're not up here to bully anyone. We're not up here to solve the world's problems. Mm-hmm. But I want to at least discuss some of this cultural turmoil we keep seeing. Because I don't care what you are. If you go and do violence, that makes you what?
A criminal.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, there are people out here on this specific instance in Nashville that are saying that person is the victim because of all the other things that come before this. And so I don't know, man. That's a tough one because can you push we know this because the FBI does it, push certain people over the edge who are mentally unstable and get them to do these mass shootings and these other things. Maybe not every time. Don't get me on some sort of like they do it every time, but I know they've been found to know things about people ahead of time, almost, what's the word? Grooming them into not killers, but someone who might snap. And that's all they have to do. They don't have to worry about the specifics of what they do. Sometimes they like to just cause this issue, and that has been proven. I don't want to go off on that tangent, but that's something that worries me when we look at someone who has been pushed too far. We need to back up, and we've been talking about mental health for how long? and there's so many calls for it online, and I still see people say we don't talk about mental health enough. I think we talk about it enough. I just don't think we know what to do about it. Corral everyone up in a mental institution. I don't know. That doesn't sound great either. Most of us are scared of that.
To touch that mental health issue just very softly, we've had a family member recently been straight 100% had to call and be admitted into the hospital because they thought that they were going to harm themselves. While they were in the hospital, they described the experience to us as being in jail. They literally felt like they were in jail.
How is that 5150 hold?
Sorry, go ahead.
Because they do it for that person. That if someone goes in saying they're harming themselves, they are going to take everything from them and lock everything up that they can. And I do understand that, but I do think it should be much different than our jail systems.
Right.
And it does feel very similar.
To describe it as going to jail, food was going to jail, the attitude that people gave them was just like they were in jail, like they were worthless. How is that helping their mental health? How? I didn't understand that when the family member described that situation to me. It was heartbreaking because where I came from in Michigan, it was a totally different. They coddled you. It was
that's what we want to hear.
Totally different scene. It was coddled. They did everything that you possibly could. From my recollection, my personal memory of it.
I can tell you they don't do that in California.
So it's heartbreaking.
I agree there, Tony. Why the upheaval now? And this is the thing. Like they and again, this is my opinion. This is what this episode's about. In my opinion, it very easily could be just bad actors trying to get crowds and mobs riled up against things. Personally, I just wouldn't drink Bud Light if that was my issue. I don't drink Bud Light anyway, but my issue is like, just don't drink it. Like I brought this up earlier on the hippies live stream. Like, I don't drink Coke because I don't like their policies. But I'm not going to go out there bitching about them. They're a company, they can do their own thing, and I can just not like them. Like a lot of these companies that we get mad about. Hi, Kasia.
Hi, Kasia.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Kasia.
Hi, Kasia.
Hi, Melanie.
No.
Oh, we got a guest.
Fonzie.
Fonzie, what are you up to, brother?
What's up, homie?
How's it going?
Oh, man, are you inside the bathroom right now? I'm just messing with you,
please
Corey.
say
How
yes.
you doing, bro?
Haven't seen me in a minute, have you?
No, we haven't. This seems like a good episode for you to come in on, Corey. What kind of beer do you drink?
I'm drinking Coors.
Coors, okay.
He holds it up. He's like, he's trying to read. He goes, I don't know. It's the gold one.
It says beer on it.
Yeah, alcohol.
Corey, so did you have a problem with Bud Light making special cans?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you know that Bud Light makes special cans for a lot of people, a lot of famous people? They put people's faces on them. They were actually going to be putting that guy's the trans person, I forget his name. They were going to put
her face
Haley
was
Feller.
supposed to go up
I heard
there.
about all that shit. That really don't matter to me. I quit drinking the Budweiser because it was fucking me up too much.
You just don't like the beer, right?
Well,
okay,
that's
so
different then.
I think the question was, and for anybody else is, has anybody here stopped drinking Bud Light because of the rainbow can?
Not really.
I think it's pretty.
I don't drink beer.
Okay, now let's go with this here too, because after that happened, we're going to go with a little pushback. After all these people, stocks dropped, they quit drinking it. Wonderful Anheuser-Busch has switched roles. The person that the let's see. Bud Light marketing leadership adjustments made after conservative boycott threats. So now the person that made that decision has stepped down indefinitely, and they have put somebody else up in that spot that disagrees totally with the marketing that she used.
I saw that they do have some intercompany turmoil there.
Mm-hmm.
I think
So that's saying that that to me says, oh, we're in the wrong. No,
right.
no.
At least they have some admitting, someone admitting inside that they weren't all on the same page about it.
That I agree with. Admit that you're not all together and somebody jumped and made an executive decision without going through the lines. But to have her make her step down or make this person step down, that to me seems, I don't know. I don't
that's
agree
a weird
with that.
one because
I don't.
it's very unusual to have a push, a backlash, and not to get political, but on the conservative side, they typically will say, yeah, boycott, but they don't go and like firebomb the building. And so there is a very real scare to these companies, especially in places like Seattle where they have been firebombed and stuff. And so then they give in to the mob because guess what? One side is going to firebomb my building, the other side is just going to complain about it, right? And so this is an instance where it was a little bit more pushback from the right, which is interesting because that doesn't happen as often. So I don't know if that's why they made those decisions in the company.
Well, their statement says, their exact statement, and I quote, will help us maintain focus on the things we do best, brewing great beer for all consumers while always making a positive impact in our communities and our country.
Can I say something about this?
You can, but does anyone know Ty? Ty, can you wave at me, brother?
What's up,
I just want to make sure you're
Ty
real.
Pond?
Do not ever put someone on screen right away.
Yeah, we know
please.
Ty.
Okay.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Ty? How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Ty? How you doing, man?
Has anybody seen the trolling from independent beer makers like Yingling and shit that are trolling Bud Light right now?
Well, that's a competitive thing, you know, and I don't know. Some of them are
kind
going to
of
get
fucked
themselves
up,
in trouble.
These independent beer makers are proving a point.
Here's my question.
And they're making a fucking killing off it.
Does anyone, and I don't know if we have anyone in the comments, you guys don't have to speak up. I don't know why you wouldn't if you're gay or lesbian or anything. Speak up and let me know. Does the can make you feel great? Did it fix any problems in your life? Did it make you feel affirmed? You know, did it like, you know, what was it? Is there a group of people out there who are positively affected by this? I know a lot of people, and I've heard actual gay people and lesbians say that they don't care. Like, what is it? They don't know why it's such a big deal, and that's fine. But my point is on the other end. Like, did it? What was it for? Did it actually? Was there some big grand, you know, thing that it was? Do we need to do those things? I don't know.
To me, myself, I think it was just a marketing scheme.
It was. And they're in the news. We're talking about Bud Light, right? People are talking about them, so that's part of the deal. Charlene, okay, very cool.
She didn't even see it. Nice. I saw one of them. I saw one can with a rainbow on the side, but then what Waylon showed earlier, that one's pretty. The bottle.
Let me pull it up here. I think I can make it a. Here's the new overlay I just made today. I'm gonna pull up the new bottle. What do you guys think? I can work on that too.
We're so cheesy.
I got my own opinion on this stuff.
I think I might need a new one.
Yeah, your box is a little smaller than it should be. Here's the can. Yeah, Ty, we want to hear it, man. And it's not just opinions. I want to hear perspectives from real world experience.
Oh, yeah. Yep,
like for me, I'll give my perspective. I've never ever once seen people like attacking a gay person in real life. I've never seen it. So to me, I don't feel like it's as prevalent, but maybe in big cities, maybe places that, you know, but I also push back on that because every one of us can be attacked for different things. Like I've been in very scary places, not just the war, but like in America, area where I did not feel safe, and I don't,
Yeah.
and I think we have to keep that in perspective as people sort of take on these roles of, well, my status is a bigger victim than yours in your group or whatever. My group has been, and so that's where you come into the victim Olympics that you might have heard of at times, and I don't like that. I don't like that. I
Yeah.
want to look at where we overlap. I want to see that Venn diagram and see, okay, well, we have a
Right.
lot of things in common in the middle. Ty, let's hear from you, brother. Go ahead.
My opinion is pretty simple. People should be able to do what the hell they want to do without people bothering them. And I'm just going to be as blunt about it as I can, whether you're gay or whether you wear a dress or whether you like to dress in rainbows or drink a rainbow Bud Light can. What the hell does it really matter to everybody else, guys, what the next person's doing?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
'em,
Ty.
Ty.
God forbid
Tell 'em,
we
Ty.
drink. God forbid we drink a beer that might support it, though. Like,
Oh my God. Oh wow. I'm drinking the same Bud Light I drank before they put a rainbow on the can.
Yeah.
Same
It's-
fucking
it-
price for it.
Exactly.
It's just opinions and assholes, man. And
Yeah.
I'm really tired of it, man. This country is divided for retarded reasons.
yeah,
These people have got us as individuals, family members, divided over politics, over bull crap, guys. And I think it's pitiful, to be honest.
Well, and they've got us distracted, Ty. That's the thing. This is all a distraction because there are people, we call it the uniparty, right? And the media is the propaganda arm of the uniparty.
Yeah.
And what they do is they come up with these issues that nobody actually cares about, gay or straight. And then they create the situation where they can find, how easy it is to find a mob of angry idiots.
It's very easy. Unfortunately, people like to be led as a whole. Unfortunately,
yeah, a lot of people do for sure. Now let me ruffle some feathers here and say this. I said this earlier. I think I stumped Jason a little bit. What color is straight?
Right. Good question.
No
Does
color.
anyone know?
Oh, I about died when you asked me
Just
that.
the regular
when you
blue
asked it.
can? I mean, I guess you could say that, right? But am I asking for that? No. But who knows? I mean,
It's true. I've got
why I think people have a problem with it. Maybe is where they're like, well, why is this special attention being? But at the same time, why not? Like, what's the problem? So it's very it's funny that we latch on to stuff like this because everybody knows the brand. Not everybody knows the name of politicians that are this and that and all the bills and like the specifics on politics. They don't know that. But Bud Light, yes or no? Oh, okay, let's go with it. Melanie, I saw you.
Yeah. I bet you the reps for Bud Light know those things that are going down.
So since Keisha's here, and I know she's always kind of quiet, I think this is a good time to ask her opinion because I know she has worked with transsexuals and like cross-dressers, correct?
Hi, Keisha, by the way. Second time I've ever seen you.
Properly. So, like, what's your opinion on, or not your opinion? What have you heard? Like, what's the whole? Is it offensive?
Oh, for the insurance.
I don't see why it would be offensive for it to be rainbow or not, though.
No, not in the insurance, Waylon.
I thought you said insurance, not offensive.
Oh.
I thought you said, is it expensive? Like I thought we were talking about like the.
I mean, it depends on which surgery you get. No, go on. Sorry.
Well, we can talk about that because honestly, you guys, there are a lot of homosexual and lesbian people who are very against this huge push to make everybody fluid. Because guess what? That completely destroys your entire movement of I'm a woman, I want to be with another woman. But now it's that doesn't exist. You're anything you want. It's all everything. So it's completely counteracting some of the people within their acronym. And it's so funny because they all like sort of had to latch together to kind of have strength in numbers. But then that T kind of shoved its way in. And then recently, you guys, and I'm really scared of the slippery slope. I don't know if anyone knows that, the Overton window, where we take what's acceptable and we keep stretching it to the unacceptable, to the point where we keep making things that we would have never thought were okay. And one of those things is pedophiles, maps, they call them. They were trying to get into the acronym. They wanted to change their name. They wanted to make it a thing. That's how we're born, it's part of the thing. No. So you got to realize there's got to be there's got to be cutoffs. Otherwise, just make your own. Like go make a different society where there, it's like, I don't know. It's hard to, but you know what's easy? It's easy to subvert a society compared to creating your own from the ground up, right? So I think we have a lot of people that are getting us riled up when it's really not even America that's the problem. Like we have people outside of us that are constantly stirring our pot from outside, man. Like everybody's poking us from everywhere and throwing in all this crap in our social media, TikTok and all that. So you got to be worried about that slippery slope. You just can't keep going. Like it's a pendulum, guys. I think this is a pendulum. Now, correct me if you guys think I'm wrong, but you've seen these times of like extreme debauchery, extreme religion, extreme debauchery, extreme religion. It keeps going back and forth. You had Alexander the Great, nothing but orgies all day long, right? Then you had the Salem witch trials, like that very extreme religion, right? And we just keep going back and forth. And everybody believes in something, whether you have religion or not, And I think we get caught up in the difference. And so now you're edgy and cool if you're reading the Bible. Like it's almost the other direction, right? It's crazy.
Right.
But
I agree.
Can I say something, Waylon?
Go ahead, brother. I feel like I've been talking a lot.
Okay. I went to school with a chick, and she really
was
a chick,
a lady.
always
All right.
act like a chick, but she was trans. One of the most down-to-earth people I ever met in my life, and I've been friends with her for 25 years. You would never know it unless she told you. And then you got all these other people out there that want to express all their feelings and everything, which I have no problem with, but it's the people like that that are the old schoolers that just do their thing on their own. They don't need no expression, nothing.
They didn't need a whole movement to like make it popular.
Yeah,
and that's a thing, man. I saw I saw an interview with I forget the lady's name. I wish I could have found it, but she did a study and talked to many high school girls.
Women I know.
She talked to a lot of high school girls who were trying to transition. She talked to hundreds of them, and she found out what young girls tend to go in cliques, right? They create cliques, and so it is a proven thing that when you find a sort of concentration of young girls who believe they're transgender, they end up they're like a group of friends in different places, and that's been found. And it scares me because you might think there's a lot of people who hate this and that, hate transgender. I worry about the death rates. The death rates don't really change before and after surgery. What they find, and you can prove me wrong if you want, but there's multiple studies that find most people who say they're transgender are actually gay. Now, that's not my opinion. I don't care either way. What I care about is children who don't have the ability to understand yet what's actually happening. And when it's a permanent change,
I agree with that part too.
Yeah, permanent change doesn't make sense to me. If kids can't have sex that young, why should they be able? And that's not even a permanent change, but
right.
I guess it is.
I think they should definitely leave the kids out of it. I mean, their minds aren't developed enough to even understand sex, let alone the intricacies that go with it. You know what I mean? And all the different people who dress different way and have different fetishes, et cetera, et cetera. The kids should be left out of it. But I want to also say this though. Has anybody discussed why gay people, transgender people, or anyone else feel the need to have a beer can with a rainbow thing on it? I know, but why is that even a need in our society? Why does corporate Budweiser push it out to us? Why? I mean, in my years, sex was a private thing. We didn't tell the world.
It's all about the money.
It's all about advertisement. It's advertisement. You look at anything. You look at our magazines.
Christmas.
You look at our magazines. It's advertisement. Anything on the cover that's going to grab your eye.
Major League Baseball ones come out in the summer because.
Well, kind of touching on what Waylon said. I mean, like I said, sex is a private thing. Whether I'm having sex with a guy or a girl, you should know that. Right?
No.
Right.
What's up, Wayne? Mr. Wayne, how you doing,
And
man?
there's the wingy out
My
part.
brother and sisters. How are we guys doing today? You guys are on a hot topic. Waylon,
Oh,
good at you for
I
holding
like
it.
this guy.
Mike,
Thanks.
I
Good
love
at
that
you
you're
for-
very excited and extreme in the comments, but we actually haven't just been talking about the can. We've talked about a
Right,
lot
Mike.
of things.
No, I
Yeah.
understand.
If you would
I
like
fully
to come up and
understand.
tell
That's
us that you hate that the can is part of the topic, I appreciate it. But brother, we're talking about a lot of cultural things. The can is just one of the things that came up in the news recently and got everybody in a tiff. For a lot of us are agreeing that it was for no reason. Please, if you want to come up and talk about it, please, because I appreciate you. I love you, brother, but that's a little harsh, bro. Where we've been talking about gender and homosexuality and all these things that are very intense cultural topics, man. We're not just up here talking about beer. I promise. I don't drink
Well,
Budweiser.
Waylon, when you told me earlier, we kind of touched on it real quick. You said, what color is straight? What color is gay? That got me thinking, when did symbols become gay and transgender and straight and bi? Why does because I carry a pineapple pin in my pocket that is a good luck charm. Why does that
Charlene?
mean a certain thing? You know,
What's up,
why
Becca?
does it say-
Symbolism.
Hi,
Symbolism's
Ty.
already been
Hi,
always been
everybody.
around.
So
Hi, Becca.
Charlene's comment, so she said she was going to come up, but she can't handle some of what we're saying. It's so wrong. I personally would like to hear from her.
Yeah.
Please.
Because
Please.
that's why it's an opinion
You
show.
know,
And if everybody has one opinion, then it's not a very good opinion show. So
I think
please
that this
come
is a
up.
tough thing for people. You know, I personally have a gay son,
Okay, Mike.
and I'm open about it.
Hey,
And I
Jimmy.
think that people are, it's a hot topic right now. And this is about this. It's not about a can. And I agree with you, whether it's a rainbow or not. The fact that we're
No,
talking about it is beautiful.
You know why we're bringing up the can so much is because that's what everybody's talking about right
Sure.
now. So
Right.
that's
Low-
how
low
we're bringing it in.
information.
So
The
so
low
when
info voters, yeah.
right. So when Mike wants to
can
know,
don't mean nothing.
Well, that's why.
can
That's what I'm
don't
trying to
mean-
say.
it doesn't
is, why
mean
does the
anything, but it's
pineapple mean
caused
anything? Why
controversy,
does
and
the
that's why
rainbow
we're
mean
bringing it in.
anything? A
No,
rainbow
Yeah.
I'm
doesn't
fully
mean
aware.
anything.
I've been listening to you guys for a little
Right.
while.
Oh yeah. It's just I don't understand why the
How many of
symbols mean
you
anything.
really
It shouldn't.
think a colored can is going to really bother you?
It's the
Okay,
shallowness
that's
of our society anymore. It's a fad symbol.
I think
let me
Is
give
it
you
going to
guys
I
bother
a
don't
you
know. It's
buying
such
a
a
can?
hard topic, man. It's so
let me
hard.
give you guys a little perspective here.
Yeah,
So
it is a hard
there
topic. But
there are
is
Hi, Becca.
Corey, bro,
buying a
please,
rainbow
please,
can
Corey, thank you.
or a
I'm
colored
muting.
can?
Goodbye. Give me a second, bro. You got to hear. You got to listen for the convo. All right, please let me explain something. There are companies, big, large companies right now, looking at damage control. They're not looking at advertising in order to get new customers. They are picking a side and trying to signal. They want to signal to the people, whatever it is, that we are part of this or whatever, this sort of side. And there are gay people on both sides of every issue. There's no reason to say, oh, it's all, this is our
Right.
people over here. But you guys know the low information people and people in general, there is a sort of general side that you might think of as gay if you're not somebody who thinks very deeply, I guess. So I would like to hear Charlene to tell me what it is. You are full. Okay. Well, I mean, I'd like
There's
to
a
empty.
spot now. Yeah, we have a
I'd like
spot
to
for
empty.
you.
I sent you the link, Charlene. Come on up.
I've listened to a lot of these things over years, and I would love to show you statistics, but I don't think anyone here wants to see those, and they don't want to be convinced by numbers and things. But I am worried
Well,
about.
I do. I appreciate correct information for sure.
That's
No matter who
correct
dislikes it.
information.
Well, I
Me
Google
too.
searched, and I searched on the Brave search engine because you're not going to find the same information. There are
Right.
So
two
you're not.
worlds of facts right now.
That's why it's
And-
called a search. Yeah.
Right.
And it's
So Bunny says, sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying, sometimes with these statistics, they can skew them any way that they want to. So it's really hard to find any kind of accurate information.
It's not.
You know what I
It's
mean?
not. It's not, Becca. It takes study. The accurate
yeah.
information is out there. You can't just take the first thing that pops up on Google and run with it.
Part of it, yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
I mean, you have a device in your hand that has a world of information at your fingertips.
Oh, I got three
Mhm.
at my hand.
I know. I'm like
And the
1,
thing,
2, 3, 4.
You know what I
the
meant.
thing with that, to the
So,
world
you
of
know.
information, we have to remember that I can go on Wikipedia right now and change anything that's on there.
Right.
Yep.
Wikipedia
It
is
doesn't
definitely
matter if
not.
it's true or not. It could
Yeah.
take 2 weeks
That's
before
Yep.
somebody realizes
fucked up
that I
too.
changed that on there.
Well,
I
what
can
was
That's
go
that
correct.
into
that
several other
crazy lady
information
last night?
sites
Called herself a
and change it.
Wikipedia
Yeah,
author.
that's
A
crazy about
Wikipedia author.
Wikipedia.
Nice.
Go
Yeah.
on there
You
and
And
know,
that
change
and
anything.
that goes back to what Waylon was saying with I'm going to call them the simpletons. The simpletons will take that first thing and run with it.
oh, exactly.
And
Yes.
instead of studying the next 20 things to get a general overview of the subject you want to know about.
Yeah,
Now,
you study from both
Waylon said
sides.
today,
See, it's
well, let's
studying
pay
from both sides.
for this show to be boosted up. How many
Yeah.
people pay for their search to be put top on Google?
Mm.
It's
Right.
paid. You know, it doesn't mean
What?
It
whether
is.
it's true or not. You can
I'm
It is.
pay for
sending it.
your Google to be up on top.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Holy
It doesn't matter if it's a fact or not. You know, so we got to remember with this technology that we are dealing with now, it's not the old school encyclopedia that we used to open up a book and it was the same in every
Mhm.
single book that we opened up.
Which
That's
was
the greatest
propaganda
thing.
too in itself, a way to control our
Right
My
there.
information.
Google search is for the
propaganda
same
machine.
sentence is going to be different than your Google search in
Ain't no
every
doubt.
state.
I've witnessed it from my
Everybody. Yep.
Android, any
Really?
of that causes different.
Yep.
I've
Because
witnessed it. My
it goes
friends in
by
Texas get different things than I do.
yep. And
We've tried
it
that.
goes by what you've already been looking at. It's really kind of creepy. Not kind of. It's really creepy. Like they
It's
really
But
scary.
with
even the
Isn't it?
Google search, they conform it to you and to your
yeah,
other
they could.
searches and stuff, and
Mhm.
they show you what they want you to see.
Well,
It
now
is
That's
Yeah,
insane.
before
that's
Charlene talks, and
that's
Hi,
really
hi
fucked up.
Charlene, hello.
Hi, Charlene.
I want to point out that my personal opinion is that the gay and homosexual movement has been co-opted and is the victim in this because they are the ones being like used as this sort of back and forth, and they're not the ones asking for this stuff, at least not that I know of. Now, I do want to be corrected by anything, Charlene. Go ahead, man. Give it to me. Slap
Let's
me with it.
go.
You about to.
We'll give her a second. She's getting her camera set up. It's all good. I do appreciate anyone that takes a minute to really,
Hi, Shirley.
get that angle good.
Hello, Charlene.
Good
Okay,
evening.
so I guess my tripod, the bottom clamp is broken, so it
Oh.
keeps popping out on me. I'm working on it. Hold on.
It's okay.
Hey, take
Um,
time, babe.
Technical difficulties. It's
So
okay.
then I'll be there.
I'm gonna have to cover your square.
I just want to know when it became popular for just because people are different, we exploit them in order to gain monetary things.
Make yourself
and
look good. Mhm.
That's exactly, I think, what some companies do. Not all, but that bothers me because these groups do not need to have any more bullshit thrown at them.
Right? Exactly, Steve.
Yeah.
Yep.
Money.
Always the
You're
money,
muted,
God.
Jason.
All I can say is I just loved what Frost said.
It's all about that money. It's
Yeah.
true.
And people suffer because they are being used like that.
Our beautiful capitalist world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Talk about a capitalist world.
Uh-oh.
I live in Florida.
Better.
Oh,
Okay.
You're not allowed to say gay in school. Little children are going to
Yeah.
commit suicide.
What's right better than
Teenagers,
Illinois
young
right
teens
now?
are going to commit suicide. We finally got to a point where people were semi-educated, and Florida's making us go back. I mean, you can't even get birth control without
The
paying
fuck?
out of your pocket in Florida. What the fuck?
damn.
So
They
Burning
are
books
teaching
in Florida.
transsexuals in
Someone should take
California.
over
They
this
do
state.
teach
They're
it.
burning books in Florida.
I'll push back a little bit, Charlene. I read some of that bill, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to get for fifth graders and younger. They're trying to keep the teachers from talking about any sexuality. I don't want them to say straight either. You might as well call it
Children
the don't
as
say
young
straight
as
bill.
studies show that children as young as 3 and 4 years old can say to their parents, "I'm in the wrong body. I'm in the wrong body. I'm in a boy body and I'm a girl."
My son thinks he's Wario every day. Every day. He dresses
That's a
like
good
him. He
point,
goes to
though.
school like him. He is not Wario. I'm just saying.
Hey,
A 3-year-old doesn't have the capacity to make
Waylon,
that
I'm with
decision,
you with
man.
that shit.
Exactly.
You don't know that. You don't know that at all. Have you?
Of course I do.
You know,
But
Of
there's
course I do.
examples,
you don't know
Charlene.
that.
Like, okay, so
I
what?
have
Let me
been
ask you
3 at
this.
once,
Is
and I
this
have
lady
children all over my
retarded?
house. Of course I do.
What if a little kid says, "Mom, I want a beer." They're 5 years old. I need a beer. That's my
Right.
thing. That's my best drink. I
If
love
you
that drink.
stiff it, that's a cop up.
Changing their
Don't even
body.
go there, Waylon.
That's
Nah,
different
Beer
than
No,
isn't what
that's
we're
saying
not.
I
talking about.
feel
We're
this
talking about
way.
something
Yeah.
that's out of their
Hey,
bone, their
Adolescence.
structure, their
Wait a minute.
mind.
Hold
And
on, guys. Hold
I
on. Hold
think
on,
you
guys.
need to just delete
why
yourself
am I echoing,
from this
guys?
Sexuality
shit.
should not be taught at school.
I agree.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. As a parent, it is our job to make sure this kid is led the right way in life. Is being gay wrong? No. Is
No.
being straight wrong? No. You should teach them the right things to do. But a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and maybe all the way up into the mid-teens should not be taught sexuality in school. I will never ever agree with that.
I
Ever.
disagree
Sexuality
when
should
we're
be at
talking
home.
about into the teens and stuff. We have too much
Yeah.
teen
No.
pregnancy
Yeah.
just looking
That
at
is
that way.
your job as a parent, not a
I
teacher's
kind of
job.
agree with you, ma'am. But I agree with Tyler too.
Yeah.
You know what's
We
funny?
can't
I
depend on
just got a
strangers to
fucking
teach something
like
so
post
Corey,
important to
please
our
that
don't
this
stop
children.
was
walking on people, bud. All right, muting.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Oh, you were fine, Becca.
He's pretty inebriated, but we're just gonna mute
Oh.
him.
He likes Coors. We know that.
Yeah.
He told us.
Yeah, he's got his
Here's
opinion
the
on
thing,
his drunk
okay?
ass.
My friend is a very much an alcoholic, and it's very sad. But the thing is, he lost his shit about the Budweiser. Okay, so he bought Miller, and he's having this Miller beer, and I'm looking at it, and he's telling
And
me
he's
all this
hating it the
stuff.
whole fucking time, isn't he?
Listen, no, it's got rainbow on the can, but he can't see the rainbow. Okay, so I'm trying to be straight because he's my friend.
Oh
Okay,
my
I love
God.
Jason when he's straight. When he's drinking, I don't love him so much.
Yeah.
But you know, that's the thing I noticed, okay? Come the fuck on, guys. It's beer, man.
Yeah.
So
Put,
Melanie
so
has a
pour
good
it
point.
pour it in a
gives a
glass.
fuck?
Yeah, pour it in a
Yeah,
glass.
come
Put
the
it in a
fuck
different
on, man.
container. I mean,
Come
Listen,
on.
you might not like
It's
bomb
your
pops
beer.
either.
Yeah. I mean,
right,
God forbid
right. They have
people eat
different colors.
Pop-Tarts. You better not eat them fucking Pop-Tarts either.
So,
Yeah.
Personally, I'm eating them fucking Pop-Tarts. They're my friend.
but to both Melanie and Charlene's points, I want to address that. I think it's beautiful that we have a country that you can move to one state and have sort of differing and it's not even solid if you want to say right and left. It's not even the same in every
Yeah.
red state compared to every, like everything's different in each state usually, and which is really cool,
So,
and
so
it makes us
Aaron,
allowed to.
should I sell my house and move because I've got an asshole governor?
We used
I
to.
mean,
We used to move all the
People
time when
need
we
to
had
do
to, when
that.
we needed
yeah,
work.
well, that's not me.
I
Right.
know.
You
I'm not
moved me
saying you
during
should.
Depend a
service.
lot on
I'm
But
not
I
saying
don't
you
see,
should.
know.
that's where I
But
don't mean to
we're all
interrupt, but attitudes are running, tempers are flaring and going high. So let's jump down a little bit. That's where it comes into most of us are in America and we vote, so if the
Yeah.
voting did not work for us, then we
Vote them out.
move to another area to where maybe the laws are different because every single one of us have the right to vote. If we vote and them laws do not go our way, what are we supposed to do? We have to go by the laws. We have to
You
do
could
what
start
they
your own
say.
movement. You could pick it. You could
So
get into
if you don't
politics
want
with
to
that
go by
stuff.
that law, then we technically, yes, you should move. I don't want to say that's what it is. Okay. Good night, Charlene. Sorry that you.
She's
I
having
kind of,
internet
Come back.
problems too. She keeps
I
getting
kind of think,
booted.
Yeah, maybe her
She
internet.
just got a little,
I kind of think the opposite. I don't think you should move. I think you should fight.
Right.
I mean, you guys
That's
look at
right.
Keep fighting
Fight.
for your rights.
right.
Keep
Listen,
voting. Keep trying to
Fight.
change that law.
think about these last 2 elections. Historic number of voters out there, guys. Historic. We are in a controversial time, but we're also in a time where people are moving and shaking things.
They
Yep.
are.
Kat, why don't you come up and talk?
Yeah, it is.
I love
it
that.
is becoming like it seems like the world's becoming like unstable, but we have to realize that that's the norm.
It
That's
is.
the norm.
It really is.
You're good.
The norm isn't to be able to have such a safe society that we can virtue signal to certain, like, any groups, really anything. Like, that's not normal for us to have that kind of a ability, and so I think
It's
we're
not.
just not used to it.
And
we have a
history
lot
will
of.
repeat itself.
I would suggest this, if Charlene, if you're hearing me, I would
She
suggest.
said good night.
Okay, well, I would have suggested for her to read the bill, because it doesn't say in there anywhere, don't say gay. It's not even, that's not the bill.
Right.
It doesn't
Not
say
even
that.
about that.
Now,
There was a whole
Because
controversy
I
over that,
read
and I
that
remember
too,
watching
Waylon,
it and reading the
agree.
actual words, and it's like, no, that's not.
That's
It
not
might
what
as
he's
well be
saying.
called the don't say straight bill too. So, like,
Yeah.
it's just, it's
Right.
the bills get us in an uproar because the media changes the name. Oh, hey, this is
And
the
they take sometimes they take one something that sounds good and they push it, and then people pick it up and they think that's what it's talking about, and it's not. And that's exactly what you're saying there, Waylon. You got to
Well,
read the
I have a
bill.
crappy governor where I live. I'd love to move out
Yeah,
of
man.
Illinois, to be honest.
I
You
got
don't
Jim
you don't like
Justice. He's gonna
Pritzker?
run for Senate. Holy fuck, y'all are not ready for Jim Justice in the Senate. Holy shit.
Hey, I
He's
want to bring
fuck.
up another subject,
Dude
but
sucks. Top of
related,
the fuck
guys.
on Jim Justice.
They tried to
Really.
kidnap
I don't know.
Michigan's governor. Come on, guys. You can't
You
be much
guys,
worse than her.
right? You guys know we have a
FBI did.
transgender senator, right?
Montana.
Our
Yeah.
health secretary, the federal health secretary, is
Yeah.
transgender.
Yeah.
They just
Well,
took
do you
one lady
know?
out of the bill. House
Right. Do
bill
you know
thing.
what they're doing to that transgender senator right now? She's
Well,
not
in
even
Montana, they're
allowed.
trying to
She's
silence her.
wait. She's not even allowed on the Senate floor right now.
Yeah.
The what is it? The leader of the Senate. What do they call him?
The House Speaker of the House.
Chairman.
Yeah, whatever. He because of her statements, he would not allow her to talk, and he hasn't for about the last 9-10 months. She can cast a vote, but she can't even say nothing on the floor. You guys know about that subject?
No.
I'm not sure if we're talking about the same person or not.
I can't remember what state she's from, but one of those states.
I have the article here on my computer beside me, and it's about transgender lady. She was trying to make her statement. They wouldn't let her speak. They kept interrupting her. The people up in the top, the spectators, started protesting. Then the stormtroopers came in full vest and guns and everything, and they removed her from the floor.
Yes, that was just the last incident.
Say anything.
That was the last incident.
Stand up for the transgender LGBTQ. They wouldn't let her speak at all.
She is a transgender.
And that is fucking wrong.
She is the first one in the Senate, and they have silenced her for 9 months.
And that is Montana, the state of Montana.
I don't even know if it's 9 months, but they've silenced her for months. Don't quote me on that, guys.
So some people were early on, especially, were upset at this topic, what I saw, and I want to bring it in perspective, because we have a lot of stuff going on in our society. I don't think I should just turn things off that don't have to do with me. I try to be informed on a lot of things, and I actually am not as informed as I used to be because I'm on the screen more often. So it sucks, but at the same time, do you guys believe that if you're not part of whatever group, then you shouldn't be paying any attention? Like, it's none of your business. I don't think that's the case. Maybe I shouldn't be like up in someone's business trying to change the way they do things, but I pay attention. I mean, like, there's a lot of groups.
We lost one of our greats today. Jerry Springer passed away today. Rest in peace, Jerry Springer. And that man right there faced every controversial thing that you could ever think of with his bringing stuff to the limelight, bringing stuff to the table. Yes, some of his shows were fake, whatever.
Yeah.
Some of the shit was televised and all that. But he definitely did topics and statements, and you need to know. We need to know what's going on. We need
if you listen to
want to send my
conspiracy
son to school and find out that kids are getting picked on for a fucking wearing a shirt that has a pineapple on it, because I didn't know what the fuck a pineapple meant, or supposedly what a pineapple means.
Right. I didn't know.
We need to know. We need to know.
Yeah.
We need to be in the know. We need to be educated.
Oh,
what does a pineapple
mean?
What does
I think it just means that you're gay, right?
Swinger.
SpongeBob.
Don't wear a
You're a
pineapple.
swinger.
It's in different states. In
There are-
different, it's upside down. Pineapples means you're a swinger, but in
Okay.
different
Oh.
states, they have different like
Movies
things
for
that
it.
they put outside. So,
Yeah.
for instance, in Florida, it's something totally different. It's not a pineapple. So,
Unicorns.
Right.
Winged unicorns. Why is that a symbol? You know,
Yeah.
why does that
Why
mean
is the
whatever it
rainbow a
means?
symbol? I grew up in
Exactly.
the 70s, 80s,
You
and the
know,
rainbow was everywhere. When did that
so
begin to
it
mean gay?
meant
I don't.
peace, love, and happiness. That's what I
Well,
remember the
Peace,
rainbow
love, and
meaning.
co-opted
Peace,
all
happiness,
the
love, and
time.
right?
happiness.
Right, right. I mean, here's
Symbols
It
another
was
mean
thing.
everywhere. The Mork and Mindy, man. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Mark
Yo,
Ryan?
yo,
Nanu,
yo.
nanu. Nanu, nanu. You
Nanu.
know, from it's for
Well, wait a
real.
minute. Wait a minute. What about all the 80s bands? What were
Mhm.
they literally doing?
The
They
Our
were
hair.
hair
rocking.
bands,
Remember?
our
The
80 hair bands.
man.
You know, look at
Yeah,
them.
Motley Crue, Poison, all of
Yeah,
them. They
You
were
know,
transgender bands.
yeah, exactly.
and
And
I realize that now. I do. I realize that I used to idolize men who wore makeup and looked like girls.
Me
That's
too,
how
son.
I wanted to. I
Steve-O.
wanted to be
Me,
like
t-
them, dude.
me too, bro. And it
I
wasn't
so
looked
wanted.
at as gay or transgender then.
well,
Yeah,
Like,
let's go back because history repeats
yes, that's what
itself.
it is.
And with the research, you know, I've known it forever, but did more research today. Guys started wearing the makeup. Guys invented the makeup for themselves.
There
Guys
you go.
long time
started
ago.
wearing the
And then,
dresses. It was
okay, if
easier
you
to
go
take a
to the
shit if you
island,
had a dress on. You didn't have to undress as a king. So
you
you wore
pretty
this
little
big old
bitches.
long robe, this fancy dress. Guys started doing that, not females. Guys
right?
started the transgender changing into cross-dressing.
So
Girls were,
technically,
you
we
know,
came in a
But
circle where
it's
it went from
all
guy
repeating
thing
itself.
to a gay thing,
in a
It's
lot of
all repeating
indigenous
itself.
by
tribes
opinion at
or
least.
islands, it is a duality thing. Even in the Viking time, it was a duality, and these people were worshipped because of their duality. Okay, and I don't understand. It still happens to this day that these transgender or people who walk the double line are held up as like a seer, or they were held up as a wise person, and it was never considered if they were man or woman. They just were what they were.
I'll be right back,
Okay,
guys.
Well,
and it's
there.
still, I don't
Sorry,
know. I don't
there's
even
some
know where I'm
countries that
going
don't
with
have
that one.
gender. There's some countries like
Well,
the Philippines. They don't have gendered language. It's just not part of their culture.
Mikhail, we were just saying beer because it was the hottest thing, and
Oh
well,
yeah,
we know there's
Disney's been
plenty
a
of
big
it. Like,
one forever, though. You
yeah,
know,
there's plenty
Disney
of
was
other ones. Yeah, like
Disney's getting pretty
huge
bad. There
for
was
fucking 20, 30 years now, Disney. And then all of a sudden they want to just really try to push it these last couple of years.
they're out in the
So,
open more about it now.
yeah.
Like some of the things happening at their park with employees and like child porn and all this stuff. It's not good. But this is the thing that happened with Disney on the Buzz Lightyear movie. I think she was the executive producer. I'm not sure what her name was, but she basically was quoted in saying, "I'm gonna shove as much queer into this as I can." And it's like, why? Like, what are you trying to like? That seems like someone trying to stir up something, right?
sounds like someone trying to use a
That
culture
too.
or like you, yeah,
Exploit, yeah, and that's
exploit.
what happened.
Yes, that word.
That money again. There's that money
And
again.
Disney was actually sold as a public thing, wasn't it? And now the family Disney is actually trying to get control back of it.
I didn't hear that.
That's just a little
my son would know.
blip I heard something of that.
He
I'm
told
not
me
even.
that story. Yeah.
my son. Yeah, I was like, my
Yeah.
son would know, and he just said he told him.
I'd like to
So,
switch
yeah.
gears a little bit, you guys. I have a video here that's only 2 minutes long on Rumble. It's called "A Group of Women Can't Answer the Simple Question, What is a Woman?"
It's a decent video, guys.
This is
And by
not the
decent,
video
I mean-
I tagged you in earlier. This is just a
Oh,
2-minute video of actual women
I
answering
take
the
that back.
question. The other video was pretty good too.
Mhm.
Matt Walsh did this whole thing where he went out and he asked a lot of women and protesters and all that, what is a woman? And you could do the same thing for men, right? So we're not trying to pick on women here, but when people don't know what they are or how they can't articulate what it is, that starts to make our society fall apart, guys. Let's hear what they
Right.
have to say.
So what, I guess my question is, you said
Can you hear this at all?
that they're both
You
women.
could turn it up maybe a little.
What is a
Oh,
woman?
I know. It's
A woman's
because
a
I
woman.
have this browser turned down.
There we go. Start it over real quick.
So what? I guess my question is, you said that
That's good.
they're both women, right? So what is a woman?
A woman is anyone who wants to identify as one.
A cat is a cat because they are a cat. That's not like.
I feel like
This isn't a gotcha. It's just a genuine question.
I feel
What
like
is a
some
woman?
people
Hold
are-
on. Hold on. Go ahead.
I didn't have anything to say yet.
But
Oh
He
my
shuts up the
goodness.
one that has something
what
to
is
say.
a woman?
A person.
No, but what is the definition of what is a woman?
Have a good night,
I
Kenny.
don't know. I'm confused now.
I'm confused
Oh.
now.
I understand what your argument is. If I come out and I say a woman is someone who was born biologically a woman, I understand that that's where you're coming from. And I agree everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But I personally, as an individual, respect trans people. I
Sure.
respect trans women. So
So you're
I'm
trying not to hurt
Not a
anybody?
problem.
invalidate them by saying that. I understand completely where you're coming from. But just from my personal preference, I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Answering the question. Okay. No, hey, that's okay. What about you?
I'm just
Huh.
not interested in having this conversation about trans people anymore. Because you seem very clearly committed to misunderstanding.
Emotion.
Well, I am trying to understand. I'm just trying to get people's perspective. So what is a woman?
I'm gonna say what she said. I don't feel comfortable.
Come on now.
They don't want to hurt no one's
A
feelings.
cat.
Yeah.
They don't want to be
I don't
seen
know.
as a bad guy because they say it's a biological.
In
It's
this
sad.
situation. We all
But truth is
Cat, I
true.
was just thinking the same thing. I'm like, they're all really young.
enough.
Yeah, they're all young.
Invalidating.
Very, yeah.
None of them. I think he's
Well, isn't
probably
that
the
sad
oldest
still?
one there.
Or woman, or they're a man, transgender, whatever, and invalidating
It's
that
still a
is
problem.
not-
They're all
it's not our
adults.
position. It's not our place
Right.
to say
Yeah.
what they can. and
Except for
can't
that blue-haired girl. She looks
Allie,
like a
what is a
mannequin.
woman?
is a
She is. Yeah, it is.
You fucker. I'm sitting here like, what the hell?
It is a mannequin. Oh fuck.
Yeah, I was like, she's not even blinking. Jesus.
So
Okay, that's all up. So and then that video on Facebook, Matt Walsh, he writes a book and I think he goes around, does a whole movie on it. What is a woman?
Yeah, there's a documentary.
Okay.
It's on one streaming service, but
It's on
I mean,
Daily
it's
Wire. Yeah.
Daily Wire. Yeah, it looked like something I would watch. I would go watch it. It looked pretty interesting to me, but
When
But
you
I'm
said
not Daily
that,
Wire.
Waylon, you know, my thing, and with us just watching this, let's push a little bit at the wordage.
Sure.
What is a woman? What qualifies someone as a woman?
I think it's the same
A
answer.
woman? No. False.
Hey,
Chromosome.
Stacy.
Chromosomes. You have an X and Y chromosome.
Mhm.
Not all people, you know, males are distinguished by chromosomes,
Yeah,
females
I
are
agree with
distinguished by chromosomes.
Correct.
That is that. So our wordage is a big one. Now you can qualify yourself, you can identify yourself as a female, as a male, as a cat, as a dog, as a dragon, as a pineapple, as a pine tree, as a speck of fucking dirt on the ground. I don't give a damn what you qualify yourself as. Cool. Do what you do. But definition wise, we have to pay attention to the wording. You know,
Always in the wording, isn't it?
it is in the wording. It's always in the wording, guys.
That's
in
how you subvert culture.
education.
You change the wording. Or you take
Education.
away the definitions.
And
Well, let's actually
unfortunately,
look
our
at the
news-
wording.
Our news channels, our news outlets, they change the wording to their benefit to get the
Mhm.
ratings to make more money.
Well, yeah, that's their job,
Back
though.
to the mighty dollar again.
But let's go back. Let's go back to what you said. Let's actually look at the wording. Look at the origins of the word woman. There you go, Waylon. Whoever's doing it, yeah. Let's look at the origins of this word.
An
Now,
adult female human. Woman
now
considered-
does that definition? Hold on. Does that definition show the origins of that word and what language it comes from? Because those are more important than the actual definition.
Probably Latin, like most of our.
That makes me want to look up female because it says an adult female human. Well, then you have to go look up female because it's the same.
That's where your wording comes in. What makes a woman a woman? A man or a woman is simply one who possesses male or female chromosomes.
Right.
Yeah, and they're definitely wanting us to think of gender and sex as two different things, but I don't see how they're
Waylon, would
different.
you look up the origin of either of those words? Just ask it the origin of either of those words. I mean, the old dictionaries used to have origin, would tell you whether it was
Yeah.
Latin, whether
Well,
it was whatever.
I'm not
But that's
using,
important. It's important to understand the language this comes from, because then you
Yep.
better understand the actual definition of these words and what they
too, buddy.
really mean.
Latin.
I mean, behind woman is man. Behind female is male. There's a connection right there alone.
Yeah, it's Latin. That's what I was thinking.
Familiar, the definitive form of it is
Femina. Femina.
Look at this though. It is not.
And it means woman.
Now see, there's something I just didn't think.
Related to the word
related. Right.
Wikipedia. Somebody typed that. Look where you're at. You're in Wikipedia. That came from Joe Blow.
Good point, Jason. Yeah.
Well, any of these articles
right now, you can click on that article and change any word you want, add
True,
any word you want, anything.
That doesn't mean it's incorrect though. You just have to find it somewhere else to see.
True.
How many times?
It's the same thing here.
Just because it's on Wikipedia doesn't mean it's not correct either. But
right,
that's
yeah,
what I meant.
but you
at
know,
the same time, yeah, I get you, Jason.
But here,
Very
but I
true,
also
though.
push back that just because I'm
It's
not
on
using
the internet,
Wikipedia,
though, you
tell me
guys.
which
It's
one is
gotta be
right.
true.
Yeah, like this one here. It's
Yeah.
etymology.com. We got it. This has got to be real.
Gotta be.
It gotta be. What's it say?
Hey, thanks for hosting this, Waylon. That's awesome. I really love it. I
Yeah,
love
I'm
it.
not.
You know,
I'm,
you're
Can you
doing
blow
all
it up
right
just a
for
little more?
everybody. I love it. You do good.
I'm going to take a little bit of credit of this because I think it was time for us to do a big one, and I threw it out there that we should definitely hit this topic.
Yeah,
So,
man.
let's
I
do it.
agree, Joe.
Can you blow it up just a little more, bro?
Talk about, and you know, you tried to make an atmosphere of
French.
you know, so everybody can say what they need to say, but
Oh, exactly.
it didn't end that way, and I hate that. But
it's what we need, and this is that
Yeah.
that gives us that shows a perfect example that and while I might be male and most males think more logically, I actually, using logic, know that emotions are important. Like we need those too. Someone who's logical might think, oh, you know, you're just getting up in your emotions. I don't care about that. I know someone who was like that, very, you know, Sheldon Cooper, you know, very just intelligent person, but thinks emotions are worthless. Well, logically speaking, we know there's a reason for those release of our endorphins and all of our hormones and all these things. It's all part of it. So to not be sensitive of that when we talk about things is why a lot of people don't want to get in these discussions, because usually it becomes attacking of character, you know, some sort of like opinion that the people say as fact, like, oh no, it's, you know, and stuff like that. So this is what the show's for. I mean, I that's what I always wanted to do. I thought about being a talk show host before I was doing live streams.
really,
But
that's cool.
this is this is one of
interesting.
the topics that I think definitely needed discussing. We've talked about some pretty tough ones now up to now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but this is a trigger, man. This is a yeah.
I was afraid of it, Becca. I'll tell you. The thing that bothers me is that
Bunny, that's a deep one.
In this culture these days, especially online, if you don't completely agree with every single thing that everyone says, then you can be labeled a bigot and things of that sort. And sometimes giving your opinion,
collectibles,
it can be misconstrued. You know, it's like, hey, if I said I don't like the Bud Light can, then that means that I'm homophobic. You know what I mean?
That's mob mentality, and that's what they're
That
doing.
doesn't mean that. Maybe you just don't like rainbows, you know. Collective, creative collective in the comments made a good point. Does anybody see any correlation between sexual childhood trauma and gay?
No.
I don't know about gay, but I definitely know that women that get into sex work, pornography, all those things, and maybe men too. I don't know if there's a study out there for men, but is a lot of times through trauma, childhood trauma, or family, or whatever it is.
I like that question because I've actually had the conversation with a gay friend named Trevor of mine. That very exact same conversation. And him as a gay person, he does believe that, and it happened to him, and maybe that's why. And I would tend to believe that too. I have known quite a few gay people, women and men in my life, and quite a few of them were sexually traumatized as a child.
I
Now,
didn't know that.
But a lot of
whether
straight people are too. You know,
this is
I
true,
have a
this is
handful
true.
that go both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
You know,
too. I'm going to say
both
that as
ways.
well. Yeah, yeah.
So
I want to point something out. You guys might not notice this, but I'm a little bit metrosexual.
Whatever, play it, daddy.
I mean, you know, like I'm
Is
not
that what the
kidding. Like
pink
I
is
like to
for?
dress nice. Like I
Like a
Oh no,
actually,
little-
you're pretty.
most of you would
You're
turn.
pretty.
Most of you would be turned off by like I would be dressed in polos, hair gel. Like I went to this
Why?
event, this cannabis event one time,
Okay,
and I had
what's wrong,
grown my
Wayne?
hair out for no particular reason, but it was so long that I had to slick it back. Slick back. Had business pants on, a polo, and all these like, you know, stoner community type people were there that I had never met before, and most of them know me pretty well now. But it's like,
Rocking your
no, this guy
Giorgio
doesn't belong,
Butinis.
kind of thing. You know,
well,
you gotta
my
have
thing
fun.
about
Sorry,
that,
buddy.
Leon, is now would you go and get a pedicure? Would you go get a manicure?
Sure.
Absolutely, I
Go
If
would.
I
get
had money,
pampered.
if I had
And
that kind of
have.
money, I would
Oh
probably.
yeah, I have
I
too. I
would get
love it. It's the
massages more
greatest thing
often,
in the
man.
world. And I've had buddies and everything make fun of me, this and that, and I'm like, go and do it. And I
The
convinced them to
world
go
is
and do it with
changing,
me.
ladies.
And then all of a sudden they sit there and they're like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
How the
Listen, I'm
hell?
almost
It's
I'm almost
amazing.
50 years old, and I just sat here and told you I had a
Yep.
lot of gay friends over my life, right?
Yep.
So, one thing I knew about my gay friends is there was always a lot of women around them. Always a lot of women around
Best
them.
Tell him, Tyler. Tell him.
best friends
And
in the
since I
world.
was straight,
Tell him.
I got a lot of punani because I hung
Oh, yeah.
around gay guys. And
Yes,
that's just
sir.
the honest to God truth.
When I
And them
was
gay
drinking
guys
in
used to
front
fucking
of the
tell me
gay
to get my
bar,
nails and all that shit.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, man,
So
I'm telling
you
y'all.
have a
I
blast
worked
at a gay bar.
I
And just
yeah. I
laid
worked
back,
in
relax.
adult stores, and one of the ones that I ran right next to it, well, next to it was a gay bar called we won't talk about the name, but and it was a male gay bar, and so
Yeah.
my shop was primarily male gay, and boy, I've seen them all.
Yeah.
From the most flamboyant to, I mean, I'll tell you, I had one gal come in and special order like 5 videos from a company, Vivid, that was coming out, and I was like, cool. And then they came in and my mouth dropped because this chick came in hot pants and a tank top. She was hot. She was fucking hot. I get the movies in, and she's the first transsexual they've ever had on. And I was like, no way was she tucked. She came back in, and I'm like, girl, where is, I couldn't believe it. But anyway, so yeah, it's and then there's the most masculine men that would come in the back door, you know,
Yeah.
and
Whoa.
just,
Oh my God, there were so many jokes behind that one, though.
Yeah, I can't believe you even fucking
you
said
guys
it.
are
I
good.
can't believe you just said it.
I did.
That was loaded.
I did. I said it. Yep. You're welcome.
Wayne, Elisa, good evening, you guys. Good to see you both.
That was great.
You know,
Welcome back, Wayne. Hi, Lisa.
it's okay to change your thinking too, guys. You know, that's the thing is, you know, when we were all younger, you know, as boys, you know, we'd be like, oh, you're gay, you're this, you're that. You'd make fun of each other and call each other gay. And then you grow up and then you start to, you know, realize that acting that way is idiotic. And,
Right.
you know,
To anybody.
you know, and it's okay to change your mind. And, you know, we go through different seasons in our life. We've talked about this. And, you know, I can't stand seeing people my age still being phobic over the stupidest things. You know,
Right.
like Waylon said, if I went to get my one foot taken care of and get a pedicure because I want to take care of the last foot I have, you know, then I probably would have some friends that would be like, oh, like a girl. Okay, call me a girl. Whatever.
Right.
I don't care.
So I want to push back a little bit on some of this. Let me just point out, and let me ask you guys what you think. If a person wants to get at you, wants to piss you off, are they or are they not going directly after whatever the most immutable characteristic that you can't change. They're like most people and I know this
The
probably happens
low-hanging
with
fruit.
racism, with gay and homosexual, like all these things, like that's the first thing that someone that's an asshole is going to do, and they may not even care about that specific thing. They might just go after it to piss you off, and then you, on the other hand, might think, oh man, these racists, these bigots, these whatever. And I think it's just people will fucking push whatever button they know they can push on you, and there's definitely people out there that are crazy and bigots and all this stuff. I'm not saying there isn't, but I don't personally see as many as what people say there is. Now that's just my perspective, right? Share my experience.
I mean,
but
I agree.
A lot of us are online daily. We deal with it daily. We see it. I mean, I know some other things that are going on too, and right now, yeah, we all deal with the bullies, and they do. They will find the one thing that they know will affect you because they can't reach. It's online. They can't reach out. So let's find the one thing that they know is going to get you to respond.
And it's almost always immutable. Like they're going to go
Every
after
time.
my monotone voice or my awkwardness is what somebody
You're like,
says.
yeah, that's
like
me.
the worst thing.
I'd like to say that thank you. I got a little triggered earlier, guys, and I had to leave, and I'm sorry. You know, when your son tells you that he's gay and you kind of think that's fine, that's my baby boy, I don't care. I don't care who you hold hands with. When someone beats your son up because he's gay, or someone hates your son because he's gay, this lit me in a fire, guys. You guys started a fucking raging inferno inside me, and thank you. You guys have, and Waylon, thank you. I don't give a fuck about a can, but I care about the feelings that we all have, and I care that these young, like what you said made so much fucking truth, man, about the deaths, these people that are going to take their lives because they are being pushed back against people. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to get like this, but I had to come in here and say something because you guys really got me moving, and thank you. And I'm not coming in to be a dick. I just wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you
that's
for
all.
coming in, man. That's what.
No, I think that's part
that's
of
what this is about, man.
and that was part of Charlene's point of why they should teach it in school, because you know these people are these kids. They might be 10 years old. They feel it. You know what I mean? They might be 19 years old. We don't. I've never been there. I can't. We asked someone to come up who's experienced it, and she got attacked. You know, that kind of wasn't great, but
I don't think he's
when my son came to me, and he had a big old black eye, I was like, who did that to you? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. And I'm like, no, I want to talk about it. And he's like, it's a gay thing. And I'm like, I want to talk about it. Because they like to beat up on you.
Hey, Wayne, my friend, can I ask you a question about that subject?
My freaking
In your days and in my days, because we've talked before and we're similar ages, you know what I mean?
It's okay. I didn't
do you remember the bullies who beat up on the nerds, or the bullies who beat up on the preps, or whatever the label was at that time? There was always a label and there was always a reason.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know, I mean, not a good one.
People are just fucking stupid.
That's right.
Okay.
People are fucked up in the head.
They
But what
are.
my
They're
point
get
is,
scared
though,
of
is
things they don't
what is the difference? What is the difference
see
between?
all the way around something. They can only see their little narrow-minded view.
When you can't accept people for who they are.
Exactly.
And that's what we need to teach our children. Not sexuality.
That's what I was
Everybody's
trying to get
talking.
at. I didn't mean that. You know what I meant? Do you
We
get
need
what I'm saying?
let's teach them to accept others and to be open about things. Yes, no matter what. And then no matter what they learn, they will be good people.
Exactly.
Education and knowledge.
But then
Education and knowledge.
so
Preach it.
much on our school system to make our good people, because the parents have to work.
Yeah.
And it's a huge freaking rat race. You know, and when did it come the school's job to raise our babies?
Well, history keeps repeating itself, unfortunately.
Yeah, that I agree. That's why I think sex should be left out of school. I, as a father of 3 daughters, would be very fucking pissed if anybody talked to my daughter about sex. That is my job.
That was my job.
And I don't care if it's a teacher or whoever it is. Don't talk to my daughter about sex. I'll do that.
Hi, Chris.
That's how I feel about the
what do you
subject.
guys think
We had
about
a thing
this?
happen recently. I work at the YMCA, and we had a thing recently where the one in San Diego had a cross-gender person. I guess they went into the bathroom or something, and there was a girl in the shower. And when the girl had asked, "Hey, who's in here?" the guy, the girl, whatever you want to call him, had answered. The girl freaked out, and she went to the manager of the YMCA and was like, "What is a guy doing in the shower?" And basically, they handled it wrong. With all of our training, is we're supposed to be trained how to deal with this, okay? Gender neutrality, it's something we deal with every day here. And all of a sudden, they handled it wrong. Well, what happened? It turned into a big, ugly thing that's going on right now because people are trying to say the YMCA was doing certain things. It doesn't matter. What it is intolerance is a thing that, we have to teach each other. We have to teach each other, the same way you teach your children right and wrong. The same way, but the problem is in schools as a teacher, man, your job is so overwhelmed with the day to day, as well as someone else's child who has not been educated at home. It makes it really hard. And all I want to say, guys, I'm going to just say thank you because, this is tough for everybody. Waylon, thank you for having such a topic tonight, man. Seriously. I think that this is something that people need to seriously fucking open their eyes and talk about. And thank you for having the courage to do so. I salute you.
Well, thanks. I mean, it's all of us that kind of come to these topics, and we have been trying to get more back on track with more serious topics. Here we are, everybody. The people in the boxes right there.
Hey.
There we Jason's box is a little bit small. Sorry, Jason. We'll fix that later.
Size matters.
Yeah, that's Jason.
So before I lose the floor, let me go back a second. Jason talked about wording, and I think that could solve a lot of this issue. I don't think necessarily sex or intercourse should be discussed, but we could be talking about biology. Obviously, you're going to have hair grow in funny places, blah, blah, blah. These are going to grow. That's going to grow. This is going to be weird. Those things maybe to a biological standpoint might make sense. Now, I remember health class in high school.
Yeah,
in high
they
school.
did teach females that.
Yeah, and they had like this little fake testicle, like you could try to feel testicular cancer in there and stuff. So
we didn't get that to play with those, damn it. What the fuck?
Well, no, you wouldn't
I'm
have
going back to school.
Did you get a breast? Maybe they should have given you a breast with a lump in it or something.
I didn't have
Why
that.
I'm so obsessed with penises because I didn't get to play with one in health class. Jesus Christ.
But I want to point out something else too here. We have people, these big companies making decisions that aren't necessarily about their bottom line. They're making decisions upon who like the back end things. Yeah, like Jason's saying, money. It's not money from us. We're the product. The information that we give all these companies, all the emails and all the stuff. I had another point in there, but I forgot it in all the excitement. But I did have this video pulled up if we want to watch us, like just the trailer. Do you guys want to watch it? I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I just want to point to Rose's comment there too.
I recommend everybody muting beforehand because some people are going to have some reactions about this video. This is the one that you sent Melanie and I, Waylon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and mute yourself real quick, guys. That way you can have a natural reaction with no problem. It's just
I don't
long here though.
Let us
nothing upsets me. I'm good.
We'll mute.
Does a chicken have gender identity? Does a chicken cry? Does a chicken commit suicide?
What is a woman? Can you tell me that? Oh, you're at the Women's March. You must have some idea. Please, if one person could tell me what a woman is.
You are not here for women. We ask you to leave.
What is that? I'm a husband. I'm a father of 4. I host a talk show. I give speeches. I write books. I like to make sense of things. A woman is not anything in particular.
There is not one particular thing.
It could be many things to many people.
Some women have penises, right? Some men have vaginas.
I like scented candles. And I've watched Sex and the City.
Yeah,
How do I know if I'm a woman?
that's a great question.
You're not a scientist. You're not a gender studies major.
No,
How do you know that you're a man?
I guess because I got a dick.
Can a man become a woman?
I'm not a woman, so I can't really answer that.
Women only know what women are.
Are you a cat?
No.
Can you tell me what a cat is? You want to tell us what a woman is?
I'm a biological woman that medically transitioned to appear like a male. I will never be a man.
And so they go on the internet and they're told that all of their problems will be solved if they become a man.
So you worry that there could be a sort of social contagion element of this?
A teeny tiny bit, maybe. It got me at 42. Your child doesn't have a chance.
And you're affirming it with hormones that have never been used in this way.
Puberty blockers, which are completely reversible.
Completely reversible.
One of the drugs used is Lupron, right? Which has actually been used to chemically castrate sex offenders.
You know what? I'm not sure that we should continue with this interview.
You don't want to talk about the drugs that you give to kids, or?
How can they be removing the healthy breasts of 15-year-old girls?
There are masculine girls. There are feminine boys. What are we going to do about that? Carve them up?
How can this whole thing be happening, Matt?
I wanted us to have a safe place to be able to talk about this.
Part of me wants to ask why you care so much.
I care about the truth. I care about children. I care about the women who are having their opportunities stolen from them.
Is it transphobic to tell the truth?
The interview's over. Let's turn off the cameras.
Excuse me,
They're fair. I just wanted to know, what is a woman?
and you're not going to find out.
Based on what I'm saying, would you ever want to move to America?
They say no, never.
Yeah, that's very controversial.
That's huh?
Yeah, it sure is. You know, that's the thing is, you know, we have to understand, I think that there's a difference between the gender situation and the sexuality of it, you know, because like I suppose there are some women or men that want to become women, but at the same time, it has nothing to do with sex particularly.
Right.
You know,
Their
it's the way they
preference,
feel, the way they live their life, the way they feel not inside their bodies, their own bodies and stuff. And that's got to be tough on anybody at any age. But here's my big fat opinion if everyone wants to hear it. When it comes to children, however, children don't really have the capacity to make a lot of decisions. And that's why we have laws and things of that sort, that we don't let them do certain things till they're 18, 21, things of that sort. Well, I think that it's the same. It should be the same with children, that life altering things like giving them drugs to castrate themselves, to lower their sex drives, to do all these things to children. You know, we as parents would be allowing that to happen. And these children, you know, especially like they were talking about for a second there in that video there. Sometimes it's just a way of getting more attention at school by going, hey, look at me, I'm transgender, you know, because they're just like not capable of understanding that it's a huge thing. It's not something that you can play around with and change, you know. Kids we should not cater to that type of things with drugs and things of that sort. We should be there for them, talk to them, give them counseling, you know, and then let them make those decisions about surgeries and things of that sort when they are old enough to do it, you know. But we should definitely be there because, you know, when you talk about suicide rates and things, that's horrible. And the young people go through a lot of shit. And, you know, if they're confused about their gender identity, or if they're, not knowing what their sexual preference is, you know, that can really push some things. And we as parents need to be there for them the entire time and try to make sure that, you know, they know you're going to be old enough to make this decision one day to do your surgeries and things of that sort, but you can't do it yet. And that's just the way I feel. Once you're 18, you know, you can go fuck up, not in the tree for all I care. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you do, you know, but when it comes to the children, I think that, you know, schools and stuff, they should not be catering to any of that, changing, you know, biology class, not be able to see the difference between men and women, and, you know, That's just what I.
My opinion, more eloquently put. Very, very true. I agree, sir.
Diane.
I agree too.
Hey, Diane.
My thing is, like, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but like, just people in general really are not at their true thinking pattern until they're a little bit older, you know?
Right.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
And it's really, I watched a video or something about a person that went through reassignment surgery, and then when they were in their mid 30s, they hated it, you know, and then they had it redone back to the thing. But the point of it was, he was like, I wish I had waited until I was older. And that's maybe not the same for everybody, but that needs to be considered, you know,
Here's
because
what
we
I
make
suggest.
rash decisions when we are very young.
That's right.
But what we should do, like Creative said about not hiding it from them, what I think we should do, in my opinion, is that we should make children understand that it's okay not to know yet.
Yeah.
Be unsure.
Right.
You're
Right.
right,
Be unsure.
Waylon.
It's okay. Leave it on the
Yeah.
back burner. Leave it on the back burner.
It's very well okay.
It'll pop in at some point. Don't worry about it.
You know,
They
Don't
need to
worry
know
about
that
it.
people grow and people change. And some things you thought way back then you might not like now, you might like later on.
We
Yep.
shouldn't force them into a side. Okay, well, let me think. Let me
Right.
ask you a bunch of questions. Okay, I think you're this. No.
Right.
That's your decision to
maybe
make.
the bigger question is parents. Some
Exactly.
parents are very fucking intolerant and ignorant.
Same with
Okay.
That
teachers.
is correct.
That's where
It's a
the
double-edged
bullying comes
sword.
from. I truly believe it's our parenting is where the bullying comes from. Because
Yes.
kids don't know color. Kids don't know gender. Kids don't know race.
They don't know
any
hate.
of that. They don't know hate. We teach that. And as parents, we teach that. As a civilization, we have failed. Once again, another thing that we have failed at as a community, as a civilization,
We've
as a
outsourced
human
parenting.
race.
We've
Yeah.
outsourced our
Parenting.
parenting. And then
Right.
Creative brought up like
What I said
kids that have
earlier,
no
the
one
teachers.
to teach them things. So I've seen situations where teachers are that toxic situation, and the parents I've seen the vice versa. So it sucks because we never know until there's a problem, because it's usually kept within a small circle, whatever that problem might be, violence or something. There was one of the shooters was somebody who they were just keeping an eye on, and they knew he was prone to this stuff, and then they just sort of kept an eye on him instead of taking action. And that needs to stop. I mean, we don't know what to do with mental health patients, but at least we know to like keep an eye, to like watch for escalation, especially certain cases. But who knows? Like that's going to be a problem never solved unless. What do you guys think about Neuralink fixing mental issues or?
I don't think I do believe in neurological feedback. I do believe in brain mapping. I've seen it work. My ex-stepson had it done for 2 years. He was in the program, and it was amazing what it did for him. Truly was amazing. Once a week he went and had electrodes hooked to his head and basically played a video game, and then sat there and talked to the guy that was reading all the numbers and everything on the screen for about 45 minutes. And his development was just unbelievable how well it worked. So I do believe it works. But do I think it couldn't change the brain? No. Not for what you're saying, Waylon. I don't
Zaps
think
you every time
I don't think it's
of
anything in the brain. I don't think it's something like that. I think it truly is a chemical imbalance in the body. You're truly born one way or the other. And do I believe sexual, like you said earlier, childhood trauma, sexual traumatization? Yes, I believe that can happen to people. And
Wait a minute,
if you're a female and you were raped by a guy at a very, very young age, and you just swear men off, it's easy.
Yeah, because people can also be
you're a male.
born with the
Did you just
opposite
say you
hormone
believe they're
system,
born that
right?
way?
I believe that you can be born that way, and I believe it can develop also.
That's a good
every
subject.
single
I
situation
believe
is
it. I
different.
don't believe that. I don't believe that people
You
are
don't
born
think you
gay.
can be born?
I
You don't
think it's
think you can be born
environmental.
with a chemical
I thought that
imbalance?
was
I was
scientifically
born with a chemical
Like,
imbalance.
Okay.
but not in the way you're talking about.
But
I believe
you can be more
it's environmental.
one
Totally.
hormone or the other.
No,
Out of here, Wayne.
I don't.
Have a good night, brother.
What do you think, Wayland? Environmental or natural?
No, I think Jason's right. I think it's
one or the other. How do they know they chose the right parts by the hormones and all that? How do they know?
Well, if you believe in a natural way of things, then that's how they would know.
That's a different type of thing.
Yeah.
Though, the hermaphrodite. That is a
Right.
real thing.
I mean,
and it is. And there are people who are born with both X and Y chromosome, but take on one appearance as well. You know what I mean? So that is very real. But that's like Waylon said, I think is different than what we're saying here. Whether it's natural or born.
I think you can turn that way. I think it could just, who knows? You could be totally confused your whole life. You
There's a
know,
lot of
as in a
externalities
bi.
that change us.
There are bi, race. They don't care what they fuck. They don't care if they marry a guy. They don't care if they're with a girl. They don't have judgment. They just have happiness, love.
Another way to put it
enjoyment.
is you have like general religions within groups of people, like the West, general Christian, like in China,
Yes.
probably generally whatever their religion is. My point is, there are big things like that you can see regionally, but being gay is not one of those things. Like you don't see, like there's not like a general gay country, like it's not.
Now let's not say
Probably
country,
a higher
but there are
percentage.
definitely higher percentage cities.
Sure.
They're definitely
My
moved
country
to
is
other
the high,
cities.
is like the top third in my state.
You know.
Okay, I mean, look
Well,
up
maybe
West
I
Virginia.
stand corrected there. I just meant my
I
point
just-
is it's not
weird.
something that you can pinpoint to. Oh, this type of person becomes that way. It
No,
happens everywhere.
but they people flock together. So
I mean, when people have known for years that San Francisco was one of those big cities.
a sanctuary city.
But everybody there is not gay, of course.
Exactly, and like just like West, we're not all that way.
I live in the capital of my state. There's a big gay population in Springfield where I live because of the politics. Because I live in the capital of my state. My city's only about 100,000 people, but there's quite a big gay community here.
That's true. I guess maybe I stand corrected, but I do want to point out though that I've talked about this before on other subjects, but what I see is a pattern with humanity. We find something that we think is wrong with us. There's a movement, and I could name probably 10 different movements that we needed, and then we built it up, and then it became something that actually made a difference, and then it becomes like, well, what now? Well, now it's this big organism that wants to feed itself and wants to continue to be relevant. And so what do? You see all these ads about why they still need more rights, why they, meaning anyone along the spectrum, because I've seen, several different, like I said, several different movements. You could talk about like child labor laws that went to the point where now, like, children can like emancipate from their parents and like, get money. So like, what I'm saying, like think about women's rights. It was needed. We've established quite a few, and then now you've got lots of stories where there's like false cases where women are not victimized, but they say they were, and there's definitely plenty of real ones. I'm not saying there's not. My point is, like, there's this, like, it just, whatever the thing is, like unions. Think about unions. They were needed. We were being treated really badly. They get to these unions, we build them up, and then what happens? Like, unions destroyed some of our auto industry. Jason's from Michigan. It's like they just kept asking for more, even though you're not selling more cars. You can't do that. And so, like, every one of these things has gotten so big that now it's like too big to fail. Like banks, it's too big to fail. Well, that becomes with every movement that was so big that it wants to feed itself. It just, all it does is gobble up, and tries to make it look relevant. And I see that across the board. Name a movement, I could point it out. Anything, freedom and freedom of speech, people, like, it's become to the point where, like, that's their whole way of life, and like, they don't even really know, they can't really talk about the depth of what they think, but there's just like, that's the thing that they jumped into or whatever. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, everything gets to the point where it's like so big.
Fashionable and.
Well, yeah, then it becomes like a trend. It becomes bandwagon. It becomes,
I think with freedom comes responsibilities. That's what I think.
Have your face, Rose. Have a
Have a
good
good
night.
night, Rose.
Later.
But the corruption, I guess, is what I mean. Corruption. So some people said they didn't like capitalism earlier. I don't like crony capitalism. I don't like corrupt capitalism. Capitalism
Well,
based
all
on
capitalism is corrupt to me.
yes, it is. But the basic capitalism is me having something that you want, and I tell you what the price is. Doesn't matter if it's fucking $2 million. If you decide to pay it, then we make an exchange. That's something that you wanted, something I wanted. That's
Correct.
capitalism. Not all this other
Correct.
backroom garbage that we see all over the country. Like
But
that's
when capitalism gets to the point where they say everybody has to pay this exorbitant price, or we'll shut down this factory, or we'll take away these jobs from you, or whatever
fail. They
else,
should be
you
able
know.
to fail. We should let businesses fail, and we should let
Definitely.
movements fail, or things that get to, somebody brought up. Well, I'm not going to bring that one up. That's a whole different charge.
We
topic.
should. I would go a step further and say we should find businesses that don't pay taxes, who have offshore accounts and
That's
hide
where
their
we can
money
find-
offshore.
We can be
And we
fixing
should
some of
make
that
laws
cronyism.
implemented. We should make laws implemented to where if you do this, then you can't have a business in America.
Right.
Yeah. So
But that will never ever happen.
But think about things like Nike. You know, we know Nike does a lot of bad things, but they make a good shoe, and people are going to buy it because it's a good product. And we've heard other people say, I'm gonna go to Starbucks even though I disagree with whatever, because they make good coffee. I've heard people say that. It's like if a company makes a good product, you're probably still going to buy it.
And just as many people are going to go there because of it as are going to leave.
Or whatever.
So,
right.
or go on the bandwagon, whatever they call it. You know.
I want to take a second to thank everybody for hanging out right now. You know, it's very, very, topic. It's heavy.
I've
it
lost
takes a
some
lot
friends
to be able to sit there and listen to everybody's opinion. And make sure it's people's opinion. But that's the thing. We want to be able to state our opinion and still be friends. Still be able to wake up tomorrow and check on each other and make sure that we're good. We shouldn't be divided in a civil war because of stuff like this.
Yeah,
Now,
that's ridiculous.
mentioning a civil war, and you guys, the ones that are still here, like I said, we've all been very, very respectable, and let's try to keep it that way, because things they might get a little bit heated, but it's people's opinion. Now, we are coming into a president election year.
Oh,
What
man.
What happens every time right before a presidential election year, when everything starts going crazy with
Some people
politics? Let's figure out a way to overshadow the election, or to make certain politics shine with a certain situation.
I'll piss everyone off right now. Who was the first pro-LGBT
He
president?
said right now.
Right now. Who wants to be pissed off? Who was the first president
Fuck
that was
you guys.
pro-LGBT marriage?
Obama, wasn't it?
Nope.
Obama?
Abraham.
Nope, it was Trump.
Oh, no.
It was Trump.
It was Trump.
Obama was not for it. So it's just funny, like a perspective.
I was going to say Clinton, but
Well, people say Monica is the guy, or his wife is the guy, so it's. But I don't want to try to shadow the situation at all. That's not what I'm saying. But could it be political issues? Is this something that has been politicized so much that unfortunately it is overtaking free rent in our brain? Gentleman earlier was saying that, that we're allowing certain things to take up real estate in our brain that really doesn't affect certain people in certain ways.
The last election had me doing that. The last election, I was like that. I had to get away. The last election, the last two elections had me like you were just talking about. I had to get away.
You go all the way back to the Bushes. We had the fuel crises when all of a sudden it was Bush and Clinton. We had the Clinton scandal when my man was fucking a girl with a cigar.
Every time you had Reagan with the Iran Contra.
Right, Steve-O.
Yeah. Every time. It's watch this hand while this hand screws you.
Exactly. I don't want to overshadow anything. I'm not trying to say that. But right now it's time for stuff to get huge to overshadow certain things.
You're right.
I don't want, I'm not trying to stir any pots or speak this or that. And like I said, this is an opinionated show. This is my opinion. Could happen. Might
divide and conquer. It's an age-old tactic. Divide and conquer.
It is, and I'm
telling
you guys,
war for the rest
there's
of
a
our
lot
life.
of people.
The Civil War never
they
ended.
want it to happen. Yeah, they want it to happen because when I
Civil
say
War
they,
never
I mean
ended.
China, Iran, plenty. I could keep going. Korea, but they are actively working together to make a new petrodollar. So, and this all ties into tonight's conversation. A lot of these things that we see that are sensationalized in the news, which we all agree is kind of overblown for no reason, is on purpose, and I believe is to help destabilize the country. Multiple things: welfare, destruction of the family, emasculation of men. All these things are being oppositely promoted in China and elsewhere. They are.
So, do you believe in the New World Order theory?
Well, everybody wants to make a new. I don't believe that it's going to happen. What I believe is that there's plenty of powerful people in the world who band together, and maybe there's a group here, maybe there's a group there. You got Illuminati, you got Rothschilds, you got fucking Blackstreet, all these other people. They're all working against each other too. So you can't imagine. I can't imagine any organization running the planet. What I mean is there's plenty of people that do band together against someone like us.
I tend to believe it. I tend to believe it's already here, and it's been here since the Second World War.
It has, and it's Jason thinks that it's more about the Civil War, and I think you might be right. I think there's a lot of things that date back to that. But if I'll take it even further back, and there's a guy I used to watch, he's got a charged name, so I'm not going to mention him, but he was talking about way back in the Pilgrim days. You had Jamestown, and you had the other. There was another major town. I forget the name of it. Anyway, these two towns had very, very opposite beliefs. Like one was more about the individual, one was more about the collective, and that's why and that's sort of rippled through time, all the way through the Civil War, all the way to now. There's a definite difference of philosophy there, and I'm a philosophy guy. I want to look at the philosophy. I don't want something. People have said, to keep it really simple, I don't care what you do as long as you don't try to force me to adhere to whatever it is. And a lot of people say that. It's easy to say that's a bumper sticker, right? But I think it's true. Like America, for sure. Everyone's like, you know what? Get off my land. I'm going to do what I want kind of attitude. And we're slowly changing because what do? America's one of the number one importer of immigrants. Even though people think we don't take enough, but we take more than almost anyone else in the world. And so what happens? Slowly but surely, a lot of our melting pot isn't quite a melting pot. It's like things aren't melting together. It's like just a bunch of stuff thrown in a pot and it's not mixing, and I don't know what to do about that, really. It's a lot of there's sub conspiracy theories out there that say all of this, the race and everything is part of an old plan of a new world order that just took effect, from the religions to the dollar bill to the coming off the gold standard to some of the names you mentioned before. Like the Rothschilds. What do you know about the Rothschilds? How far back does their dynasty go? Because most people, it doesn't even matter.
Most people know America.
How many people do you work with at work? Do you go in and you probably have 20 people, something? You probably know.
Zero. I work from my house.
Okay, well then that doesn't matter. So go back to like a company you worked for. Your company. You had a bunch of people there, right? Did anyone ever make mistakes?
Sure.
Did anyone ever call in because they said, "Fuck this place. I'm off today. I'm
sure, I did it all the time."
Or quit. Right? So now, what makes anyone think that there's an organization that's that big, controlling that much stuff, without having millions of mistakes and disgruntled employees and people? Like, there's no way. Like, unless
there has been exactly those
we had
things.
Less people, yeah, but they didn't.
There's been people that's
world not controlled. Like,
I tell you what.
Places.
If you get a chance, pick up a book. If you get a chance to pick up a book or read this book,
have a good night.
Bye, Becca Boo. Pick up this book.
Have a good night.
Pick up this book called Jews Must Live.
Oh no.
No, it's not a racist book. It was actually written by a Jewish guy. But pick up that book and read it, and then talk to me about what we're talking about again, because it'll make you think a little bit. It really will.
What I
do believe there's an age-old conspiracy to control humankind as a whole.
going to be one, and I think there always could be a new one that develops. It doesn't matter if that one is 100
night,
years
Ashley.
old. You got BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard. They own most of the world. You know.
Good night, Ashley.
Good night, Ash. Thank you. Don't forget to add this.
I know.
AI tech will wipe out millions of jobs right around the corner. I thought that too, Olivia, but actually it could be good because every time there's an invention made, people tend to innovate and create and find, like when the typewriter went out of sales, there's a lot of people put out of jobs, and then I'm not saying truckers should go learn how to code, but there are other jobs that you should be capable of probably, and usually what I'm saying, just historically we haven't had a problem with that. Now AI is a much bigger jump, I guess, so we'll see what happens there. So it is a little disturbing, but I think the space industry could really be good for us. I mean, although we can't get out of our own way,
Oh, it was
it's not
both
gonna happen. But yeah, but that all ties into the subject, because I think this subject is just another one of those issues that they have on their board of what can divide people and what can rile people up, what can cause mobs to go and firebomb a building or whatever it is. They know how to do all that. I mean, we know every president has a think tank. They make a think tank of people, right? Like, what do you think that is? Like, they're literally trying to manipulate us. I don't think you have to worry about 100-year-old, conspiracies. They're here now. Like, you don't, it could be, they might be connected. Who knows? Might be.
That's my opinion.
That doesn't bother me if they are or not. What bothers me
They
is
flow into each other.
Yeah.
And I actually believe the internet, the thing we're on right now, was a kick in the nuts to the people that want to control humankind.
Like the printing press actually single-handedly raised more people out of poverty than any other
Yeah.
invention.
Yes. That way of thinking.
Read
Yes.
the Bible. People could read, which
Yes.
made them smarter. Which
Yes.
more wrinkles in the brain when you read. It doesn't matter what the religion was. It just gave them the chance to read a book and learn how to read.
And now with the internet, you can connect to somebody in China like that.
Yep.
That your knowledge, your ability to gather knowledge spreads far and wide at the touch of your finger. To me, that's the greatest equalizer of, if there was a group of people trying to control the world, this internet would be the equalizer to that.
Don't you think they would shut it down if there was somebody?
Can they?
Jason?
Well, yeah, they definitely can. But you guys are talking about a group of people trying to control the world. That puts us back into the topic of, it would be gay agenda, homosexual agendaing. Are we trying to?
Straight people are running some of that, though. It's not just about gay people wanting that. A lot of times
it's a Christian religious right, is what it was. That's where the word gay agenda and homosexual agenda, that's where it came from. It came from the Christian religious church.
Not only that, but almost every form of racism has religion behind it as well. Just about every form of hatred, if you really trace its roots, has religion behind it.
It says the original gay agenda, homosexual agenda, is brought to you from the Christian religious rights group, disparaging way to describe the advocacy of cultural acceptance and normalization of non-heterosexuals.
What the hell does that mean?
I think
they're telling you how to indoctrinate people.
Let me suggest something. Now, I don't like to groom people either way. I like to let people figure out what they think, not even just sexually, just period.
Right.
But think about the religion. Now, I actually think. Oh, you did? Sorry.
And I did, and I'm sorry to interrupt. I had my headphones out. I went to look up this documentary that I'd seen. It's definitely worth the watch, you guys. It's called The Social Dilemma on Netflix, and it goes over how the internet and Google was created, how it's gotten out of hand, and they can't stop it now.
That's right. This is what I was thinking earlier.
So when I was listening to you guys, I was like, wait a second, I've seen this. It's a freaking fantastic, it's 2 years old. It's a fantastic documentary.
That's what I was saying. They can't stop it.
Yeah, no, and it's by the inventors. Like, that's who's on the documentary, or the people that invented it. And they were like, we did this big thing in our baby and blah, 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 but now it's out of control. and
Yep,
it's
we
doing
can't
these
stop it.
things, you know. So yeah,
Think of
so they built a
Starlink.
machine to learn, and it kept learning.
Yep.
So we're talking
Yep.
about IA, and it's scary as hell.
AI,
Think
yeah,
of think
artificial
of
AI,
Starlink.
yeah, thank you.
Starlink will basically do for the rest of the world what the internet has done for the West and for for China and stuff. So Starlink will bring the internet to places that never had it.
It already has.
Then yeah, and it already is. But what I mean is that's going to be another boom from the third world. The third
Yep.
world is going to catch up real fucking quick. You
Yep.
watching YouTube videos all day, like it's going to be fast, which I think could be awesome. But think about religion though for a second. Now, I'll tell you this: there's almost always a religion when there's an absence of religion. Like there's always one always gets created, one always becomes like powerful, even not just Christianity. But what I'm saying
every
though is,
society.
I personally believe the Bible. I think we've been broken down multiple times as people. I think we've gotten down to like 100,000 people a few times, and I think the Bible could be much older than what we think, and it could be just literally a book to help us survive. It's a book.
I always
of
believed
like
it's a history book.
awesome morals, and it's
Thank you, Brent.
history. So if you think that now in the Bible, it also
Thank
says
you.
not to masturbate, and I think if you're building a book to keep a race surviving and to repopulate, then these are things that you're going to say. Don't have
That's a waste
same
of
sex.
sperm. Yeah,
Don't masturbate.
I've never
no
thought of it
adultery,
that way, Waylon.
because they know the
Neither have
family
I.
unit was stronger than any other unit. So they all these things are put in there to push those agendas. And I think when we have 8 billion people, then you can do whatever the heck you want. You can marry a tree. There's a guy in Britain that I think, or no, in Japan that married a robot, and the robot doesn't even move or light up or anything. It's just a hunk of metal.
I seen it.
Can
I
I
seen
just
it.
point out that he married a robot, and
Brent.
she doesn't even move. Like,
Right. No
Right.
like
hand
if she
gestures.
walked or sucked, I mean, if she
There's-
vacuumed, would he be
Yeah.
better with it? He's like, she didn't even
Just
do
like,
anything for him.
The Jetsons maid. She had a vacuum right there built in.
Well,
Anyway,
she was a
but
sexy one, wasn't she?
Or like think of
Thank
the
you for
slippery
the
slope.
stars, Brent.
Thanks, Brent. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
What's up, Brent? How's it going, homie?
But anyway, that just makes sense to me when you look at the Sumerian tablets. It's basically the same story as the Bible. A lot of history that we don't know. We found human skulls that are 250,000 years old that are the same shape as ours now, because Neanderthals and all these other cavemen, their skull was much different, much bigger, and bigger brains and stuff. So all these things are pointing to, like, we got a history, guys, that we don't even know. And so we're sitting here squabbling over politics and over colors of our skin when all that stuff changes over time.
And I'll give you a good example of something we don't know. Over here in Massachusetts, they found underground tomb. Well, not a tomb, I'm sorry, a dome with what they assume was a sacrificial slab that came off the side. They thought it was indigenous people that had built this at one previous time. And when they got it dug out, they carbon dated it way before the first so-called Europeans were supposed to be in this country. But when they got it dug out, they found ancient Celtic writing in it.
Oh, wow.
So by the history you've been taught, give me an explanation for that. I just told you it's supposed to be way before the first European
There's
Celtic.
too many unexplainable things, man.
Yeah.
There are pyramids in the U.S., in the North America.
There is, and South America.
It's just insane what we don't know. So knowing that humbles me, and it makes me think of a more like a zoomed out approach, a more macro look at things.
Yeah.
What I see is these movements that get their britches so big that now they think they can control everyone. The green movement, both political parties, every one of these things, like sports, all of them, they get so big. Anyway, that's my perspective. I just think.
Well, let's go back to a little bit. We were talking about, how the Bud Light can is the big one right now because they got the rainbow put on it. Just a couple days ago, that is being overshadowed. Waylon, if you want to type this in, Jet Puffed Marshmallows, color changers. So Jet Puff is a marshmallow company. They just released the color changing marshmallows over a campfire. But guess what is big and bold on the bag?
A
Big old rainbow. color changing marshmallows, but nobody's going to talk about that at all. That it has a big old rainbow on the front of the bag.
It's called subliminal programming, my man.
There we go.
You know what else has a
let's go
rainbow
back
on
to,
it?
is that an agenda? Is that pushing something? You know,
Unfortunately, I would say yes, coming from a company now, because they know what, like, it's all about messaging, right? It's all messaging. That's why I said
Message I'm getting right now is I need to get some goddamn marshmallows.
right. They look like
put them over some fire.
dots. They look like dots, like the candy dots.
Yep. But the bag is nice, bright, rainbow colored.
I guess my rainbow sherbet is gay.
I think Jet Puff, the word, has always been rainbow like that.
I don't think so.
I think she's right.
Can we find a bag? Let's find a regular bag.
Oh, go down. There was a
I
white
can run
one.
to Walmart. I can run to Walmart if y'all want to see.
Nope.
I was wrong.
Nope.
No, that's kind of a.
I don't know. There's ones up there that are.
Oh, right
I remember
there.
I remember the rainbows. I remember it.
I feel like I do too.
Oh, yeah. Wait, here's one. It was a red, white, and blue one. That looks like special. See, that's everyone should be happy now. There you go. Where'd it go? I can't.
America.
Oh, they're made by Kraft. Really? I didn't know they were made by Kraft.
Who owns Kraft?
Companies own each other, man. Who
owns Kraft?
You guys, BlackRock, State
The
Street,
owner
and
of
Vanguard own almost all the property and all the companies in the country.
What'd you say, Steve-O?
The owner of the New England Patriots, Robert Kraft, owns Kraft Food Company.
Wow.
Their father company is Philip Morris, if I'm not mistaken.
Could be. I don't know that.
Mother company or whatever they call it. I'm not quite
Like mother sister company.
Now I want marshmallows.
I am.
Philip
Let's
Morris.
go.
Philip Morris
That's
owns
just
like
another thing
Marlboro
out there
and Kraft.
with a rainbow on it that is being overshadowed, you know, per se. Are we
It's
gonna
not even a rainbow.
Are we gonna boycott marshmallows now?
I wonder if it's because it's the type
their
of
stock
product.
drop?
Like these are marshmallows. This is beer where there's men. You know what I
Did the
mean? Where they're
stock
going to be
drop?
like, I can't touch that. And I'm sorry to say that, guys, but that's where I think a lot of the controversy is coming from, is guys as guys.
It is.
Probably.
I gotta agree
They
with
don't
that
want to
too.
touch.
It
Yeah,
is.
y'all don't. I mean, guys don't want to touch the rainbow thing. Whereas I think the marshmallows are put out for kids, so it's different.
Well,
Like I think
like I
it's
said,
looked at different.
Is my ice cream game?
You eat from both sides of the buffet.
No, this is what I think, you guys. I think Jet Puff is doing their pro freedom move by trying to take back the rainbow. That's what they're doing. They're fighting back, and so now we're gonna have to boycott them for that.
Anybody remember the
Not
rock
until I
group
try
Rainbow?
them first.
It just
Well, I
says, it just says
try 'em.
happy. It says happy by the rainbow. Like, we're taking it back. All right. But I mean, symbolism changes, you guys. Have you ever seen, I forget what movie it was. I think it was Tom Hanks with one of the Da Vinci Code, where he's giving a speech and he's showing the swastika, which was actually was like an Indian symbol in India.
I'm pretty sure it was originally an African pygmy symbol.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, these same symbols keep popping up,
Yep.
but they keep
Yep.
getting co-opted for different things. And you can see that with anything. I mean, I don't know of any products that are like.
Do you remember the Reading Rainbow back in the 80s?
Oh yeah, Reading
Take a
Rainbow.
look.
Yep.
In a book.
There you
Go
go.
ahead.
I love you, Lamar.
Diane, color marshmallows have been around a long time, but these change while in fire.
Oh, I want to see
supposedly.
this.
That's pretty
So-
cool, though. I mean, that's cool.
That's what
I want.
yeah.
I
That's what I'm gonna-
want a rainbow changing marshmallow.
Well,
Like,
the article
if
says it's the
Jason knew
first
about
time they've
these and
used
I don't
color
have them
changing
in my
ingredients.
house yet, I don't know why. I need
I just
answers.
found them out today. I've been researching stuff today. We needed to have a good show. And speaking of a good show, I think it's been an amazing show tonight, guys. Thank you to each and every one of you that have made it through tonight. We really
Oh, are we
appreciate
get to see
everybody's
him?
opinion.
I appreciate you guys pulling me up for a first time too. I'm loud and
Yeah.
opinionated, and some people don't like me because of it, but I'm pretty good-hearted as a whole, guys. And I
Oh, yeah,
watch you guys.
Yeah, good conversations for sure. For sure, I think.
And that's the thing is we can wake up tomorrow and still have coffee together and be just fine, like nothing happened tonight. You know, and it's opinion-based show. We have to remember that. No, that's unfortunately we try to just force everybody to have the same opinion. No, it doesn't need to be that way. You don't need to be like me. Fuck you. It's hard enough for me to be like me. I don't want you to be like me. So
I've had some opinions in my life that I kept for a long time, and then there's been times where I've talked to other people and heard their opinion, and it literally has changed my opinion completely because of those conversations. So without having these conversations, how do we even learn how other people feel about it and hear the points that we just really never thought of in the first place?
Yep.
And
By the way, I'm very offended by this commercial. It's nothing but a rainbow. Where is the color changing marshmallows?
They don't even have faces on them in real life.
I mean, I learned something tonight, Steve-O, but from Waylon's opinion. Like I said, I'd never thought of it in that way.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible, you know. I have had thoughts close to that, but not in the way you put it in particular, you know. So again, I love that. I love somebody challenging my views. And I don't really have views. That's what's crazy. I'm kind of psychotic.
Well, we should want that, you know, because
It's like,
honestly,
I just don't care.
it's not a secret that your viewpoints being challenged helps you grow. That's not a secret.
That's right. That's how you
100%
learn.
true. Everybody,
that's how you learn.
That's how you become a better, like not better person, but like that's how you grow as a person.
A bigger individual, more educated. Just
But the ones that don't, well, you all know who they are in this world.
So that's what they look like after they've been cooked.
Oh, so they get darker.
They get bigger and they get darker instead of being like black.
Oh.
And if you're in a conversation with someone and they have a different opinion of you than you, I should say, and then you just disappear, you know, it's kind of, you know, I wonder about that sometimes. It's like, you know, who in the situation has the closed mind at that point.
It's not about closed. I think it's more about the emotions it triggers. And it to your point, does that mean that your mind's a little closed? Maybe. I don't mean to be insensitive.
Oh, I don't know.
Or not closed, but maybe more.
No. I feel like there's some people that you just know you can't have this kind of conversation with.
Or at least they've been taught. You avoid.
There's no doubt.
You avoid the religion. You can't talk about them. That's what people.
No,
keep getting.
no. What I mean is, like, once you do start talking, you know, you get on a topic and say politics, and you know, there's certain key things that some people will say that you just know they're not changing their opinion, and they don't give a fuck what you have to say, but they want to hear it, so they want to fight about it. That's not somebody I'm willing to engage in. You're not going to win. You're not going to have a conversation. They just want to fight and argue about it to try to prove their point. That's a waste of my time.
That's what I meant by these last two elections. They kind of taught me how to be the person you are, you know, because I was that person. I felt like, you know, you're wrong and I got to shove my point home to you until you get it. And that's just not going to work with any human being, you know. And
hi, Caitlin.
So these last two elections kind of taught me to lay back and let people just do what they do and worry about what the hell I want to do, you know?
If it does not directly affect you, fucking let it go. Let it go.
Like,
you know, it's okay to do that. You know, it's okay. But too many people
marshmallow
just don't.
turns orange. The blue marshmallow turns green.
Oh, so they do change colors.
Yep, they do change colors.
Slightly.
Walmart app opening. Hang on, I'm opening my Walmart app.
Better not DoorDash that.
I actually am a DoorDasher. I'll go get it myself.
I did it for 3 years. I stopped. They stopped paying me enough money, so I stopped.
I'm actually supposed to be working right now, but they won't let me sign in. So I'm going to have a conversation with support because this has been happening for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's one of the other reasons I stopped. Because their shit hardly ever works like it's supposed to.
I didn't have this problem when I was Top Dasher, and now I can't seem to get on at all.
Lost.
I have never been a Top Dasher.
Or what's the word, like not on the top of the hill anymore or there's another phrase I'm trying to think of. So what happened? You got some like competition? I don't know how it works. Do you know who your local competition is?
What do you mean, Dasher?
Yeah. Can you go and like undercut them? Like Tom?
Well, so when you have Top Dasher, Jason has it because he was having issues with his app and they gave it to him. I'm not
sorry,
salty at
hon.
all, but
I'm sorry, hon, but when you're Top Dasher, it means you sucked it up to DoorDash and took every order that they
not
gave you.
not me. I
You
just
took
made sure
every
I was
order
over
till you was
70.
till you was up to 70% acceptance.
I was at 100 for a while, but where I live, they're small enough areas that it was fine. So in California, we have Prop 22, so you're
I know
guaranteed
you
to
guys.
make.
That must
You're
be nice.
guaranteed to make more money,
See, I
so
didn't know
you're
you was there.
guaranteed, you're guaranteed like 17 to 18 an hour plus 30 cents a mile. So,
Right.
Wow.
But my acceptance now, because gas is so high, I will accept like $2 per mile, but I used to do $1.50 per mile because it was no big deal when gas was not crazy.
What do you mean?
But,
where I lived, when the whole 3 years, I went by the $1 per mile, or I wasn't taking it.
Yeah, I go by $2
Well, gas
per
here is
mile.
$5 a gallon.
Yeah.
So
We were
gas
up to
is fucking-
9. Yeah. Luckily, not luckily, but I had back surgery when we were up to like 9 and 10.
But
Thank
see, where
God.
you live in California, where are you dashing at? Is it a big city?
Sacramento area.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so-
way bigger than where I live. So
Oh, yeah.
$1 per mile
Oh,
where I live was pretty good.
Yeah, Jason was amazed when he moved here at how many restaurants we have that are open 24 hours. And so it'll keep me, I've always worked overnight, so I don't have a lot of competition. That's the thing. And people will tip a little better.
I always work night as well. Morning
And I work-
crowd, the breakfast crowd, and the early lunch crowd, they don't tip worth crap.
And people have attitudes during the day. At 2 a.m, when I go pick up food, that person knows they're working at 2 a.m. and I'm working at 2 a.m. You know what I mean? We're not dicks to each other. Like 2 p.m., people are like, I just want to go home, and you're like.
To be honest, I loved the job. It was tailor made for me, but after they started the Top Dasher stuff and all that, and I'm not going to do it. I am not taking a $1.50 order or a $2.50 order to go 15 miles. I'm just not going to do it. Everything I had on there, I could send you a screenshot, was 100%, except my acceptance rating, which was 2%.
Mine's at 68 right now.
That means
I've
they
seen
sent me
people get
98% of the orders they sent me. I denied.
bullshit. Yeah, because they're crap. Oh, they'll do 19 miles for $14. So there's not a tip. You're going 19 miles that way, which means you have to come 19 miles back this way.
Yep. I
anyway.
didn't do that. I didn't do that to gamble. I did it to make money. And once I stopped making under $25 an hour, I quit doing it.
Yeah.
Wow. How bougie.
So anyway,
I don't care, bro. I don't care. No tip, no trip. Sorry.
See, and I don't do that. I'm just like, I look at the total amount, and if that meets my $2 per, then I'll take it.
I do believe I might be one of the people that started that whole slogan back 3 years ago.
No, I can't stand that.
Oh, you're
slogan.
full of shit.
I'm not joking. You guys could go back. There's a group called the DoorDasher Break Room. And you can go back 3.5 years ago. I swear to God, nobody said that before I said it. Like I was doing.
If anybody here has the time to go through 3.5 years, of course, to find that,
I'm not
got some
gonna do it.
organization for you to come do. I got taxes. I got a lot of shit.
I'm not even going to do it to prove myself right.
Fuck,
I
don't
didn't
even
want to tell you this.
What? I didn't do it.
I didn't want to tell you this, man, actually. But the trophy is being worked on now. It's going to be done. It's going to be there. It's going to be sent to you.
Yeah. I knew I had a reason to do it.
But no, I appreciate you coming up, man. This is definitely not that easy of a subject, so I probably made some unfriends over the night. But honestly, if you can't have conversations, and what's social media for?
100. If you can't have conversations with your friends and have a different opinion than your friend, are they your true friend?
Not at all.
That's all that needs to be said.
You guys were great. I love the show. I will definitely try to come back if you'll have me.
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday, same time, same place.
It is. Let me say this also. It is a reprieve from the usual where I'm live with people.
Mm-hmm.
A
We
lot of
smoke
us
here,
feel
but
that way. Yeah.
that's not the center of the show. Now we have
Yeah.
had some marijuana based topics, which are fun. We did
Yeah.
a 420 episode. That was fun. But yeah, I want to help normalize the use of it, and we are a mature audience show, so we shouldn't be being watched by kids anyway. So the
Right.
smoke shouldn't be a problem. Now I'll tell you what, if anybody wants to argue against cigarettes, I'm there all day.
I'm still gonna
Yeah.
smoke if I want to.
I know it, but my mom has she has a nice little wheelie oxygen tank in the living room, and another nice a permanent nice oxygen machine in her bed, right next to her bed.
Ty, I don't have one lit. Will you take another one for me? Just one more. Just one
Put
more.
a few in there.
Blow it at Waylon, please.
Put like 6 in there.
My mom does too.
Have a good night, Diane.
My mom does
You
too,
both are.
Waylon, the oxygen and all that. But I gotta have it, and it's about the only one I have, so I'm gonna keep it for now.
Brent says I probably pissed one of you off with my $6 McDonald's order. Well, if you got someone to deliver it, I guess they need the money. It's all about supply and demand, man. It's just like
there's
your
always
dealer
that
back in the
top
day.
dasher. There's always that top
Oh,
dasher.
fuck off. I don't even have top dasher, but I did for a year. So
Don't worry, Brett. There's always that top dasher. You're gonna
I
get it.
love it because it gives me more money. It's $19 orders, $15
okay,
orders.
he's got a hybrid car though, so it costs him like fucking 30 cents a mile. You know what I mean? Like, Jason.
I have a hybrid too, a Camry. So it didn't cost me much either.
I don't.
love
So
it.
I have to watch it.
And the way that
I
I
don't
look
take
at
those
it, if
little
I
ones.
can get $10, $20 orders a night, fuck. Run that shit. That's a good day's worth of pay. That last order pays for my gas that I use the whole day. And I'm good.
You guys know what we just did?
What?
Change subject?
The last half an hour, it wasn't that we consciously changed the subject. What we did was we relaxed into subjects that actually affect most of us.
Yeah,
Comfortable.
No matter what your
Things that are comfortable.
finance.
Sit
Well,
there and time to wind down and.
But they're also really important because those things are what the bottom dollar for most of us.
It is.
It's not just a cookie cutter subject that's easy to talk about. It's also something that we're all struggling with every day. So it's a serious topic that's easy to talk about. But yeah, finance, man, the dollar is crashing. Like, you don't know where to invest. Like, I don't think crypto is going to be the be all end all. Honestly, I think it's worth investing in different things. But when we're just scraping by week to week, we can't worry about no fucking Bud Light can. We can't.
I think crypto will die because dollar says no.
Yeah. Yep.
Actually, crypto is dying. The creators are dying mysteriously.
Getting too old, yeah. I have some Bitcoin. I don't know what it's doing.
No, I mean they're disappearing. Like the check it out. Google it up, bro. The creators of Bitcoin is
suicided. I see.
Yeah. Like they're just here recently. 2 of them did, the Bitcoin and the other major one. Both recently. I think the almighty dollar's got hair so old, so white, it's so old that it's not gonna let that happen. It's gonna shut it down eventually all the way.
Well, they want you on the Fed coin, and so I've been listening to this too. What they want to do is they want to force everybody on a cashless society. You will own nothing and you will be happy. Well, they're trying to come up with this Fed coin, this digital currency. Now, it might sound convenient, but what's going to happen is they can track every dollar that you spend. So so none of this cash transactions that they don't even know what's happening. Every transaction. So what does that mean? Facebook already knows when you're going to take a shit. What do you think is going to happen when the country knows every dime you get in and out? And they can predict. There will be pre-crime. I heard this on Tim Pool the other day, and I totally agree. Pre-crime from like the Minority Report with Tom Cruise. Like where they can tell there'll be like people show up at your door like, don't do it. Don't do it. Like like, oh shit. Like they know by your patterns, like what you're going to purchase, what, this and that. And so it just gets insane. PayPal is like that lane. Yeah.
I swear Facebook reads my mind. I swear. I know they sound
scary
crazy.
with the ads. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They listen.
Dude. No, I know they listen because I've
You
said
talk
something
about
there,
porcupines and
but
start getting ads about porcupines.
I do believe honestly that I thought of something and then Facebook showed me an ad for it. Guys, come on. Now I know that sounds crazy, but I swear for it, it's true.
It happens.
No, I'm saying it happened. It happens like maybe 3 times to me. Mostly it's when I say it, then they show an ad. But maybe it was just 3-time coincidence, but it was fucking yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like this conversation has been great, but it also highlights the fact that we just can't get out of our own way in humanity. Like there's always got to be some cause that you just have to see through to the bitter end. And I really would love to see us in space, but I just don't see that. You know, somebody brought it to my attention the other day. It's like what's going to happen if we had like an elevator or whatever? Terrorists. Like that would be a huge like target, right? It would be like the biggest target ever. Would be the thing that's taking people up into space. So I don't know. It worries me, but I think that if we could get out of our own way, become interplanetary, there's a lot of riches out there. Dan and I have talked about it. Like each asteroid has more rare minerals on it, or at least as many as what we can mine, in our lifetimes on the Earth. So
well, maybe we should do an episode on space, the final frontier.
We could, man. I think Ryan would like that for sure.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Dan would be good at that episode. He knows a lot about space too.
Yeah, he's interested in it as well, and I think we have fun geeking out about it. But I think focusing on something bigger than ourselves would be one way to stop having some of these petty squabbles. But we can't do it. Can't get out of our own way.
That's what our dreamers are
I think we've kind of hit the topic here, haven't we?
It's been an amazing episode, guys. Amazing episode. Everybody in the comments, everybody over on Rumble, everybody up on screen. Y'all are fucking awesome.
Still got 10 watching us on Rumble. We had 16 a couple minutes ago. Yeah, people were interested, I think. And on Facebook, it just happens like this. It sort of dwindles down over time. We still have 12 people here, though, which is awesome. It's like once you leave this live, like it's not going to show up again unless you just on purpose go back to it. It's not going to be in your feed or whatever. But yeah, have a good night, everybody. I'll be on the Rumble for the after show, guys. Rumble, the feed isn't going down. We're going to hang out for a minute, and then I'll probably set up the nighttime white noise. You guys want to see the white noise? It's homemade. Did I tell you about this already? I didn't tell you about this? Okay, let me show you.
Don't kill mine then, my Rumble. Let it run.
Yeah, I'll leave it. So like I have 2. One of them is, they're both audio visual stimulation. One of them is the fish tank. And again, it just can be played on a loop, like a 3-minute loop.
Oh, you made it yourself. Okay.
Yeah,
I have 20 people watching it on mine, and it ain't even my stream.
Yeah, I definitely had. Yeah, Jason, we should talk about that, man. If you have a Rumble, it could easily be up there all the time, gaining followers the same way. It's actually really cool the way people organically just find you if you're live. It's not hard. It's not like Facebook. Anyway, the other one is this.
I thought it was silly too.
Sorry. Go ahead, Steve-O.
Okay. I admit I thought it was silly too until I started doing it. And I mean, it gains followers if nothing else. And I'm amazed that overnight I'll just turn it on real quick and I'll have like 18, 20, 24 people sitting there watching this fish tank. It's crazy.
Or reruns and things. Yeah. These are people that don't know us, and they're absorbing some of what we are and without having to repeat ourselves. But anyway, this is the other one. So that's my favorite because I like the box fan. I don't know if you guys sleep with white noise. I literally have a comment right now from last night, and he says, this is great. Reminds me of when I was a child. The colors and sounds. Thank you.
Aww.
So like people enjoy it, and I had like 2,000 views overnight of my white noise.
Oh, I tried the rain, Joe Kelly, like you suggested that one night. You said, "Trust me, do it," and that was the only time I ever got monetized on Rumble. So
was the fish tank?
We use rain.
Rain.
That's what we listen to when we go to sleep. Rain.
Makes me want to pee. That's why I can't do the fish tank. But some people.
Yeah,
I have a different one on mine. Mine is the outdoor one with crickets.
Oh, nice. I want to record my dryer. I just did a bunch of laundry and I forgot, but I want to record.
Put some
the
shoes
dryer.
in it.
Yeah, well, like I don't want to be too loud, but yeah, that could actually help. But I want to record the visual of it because it's supposed to be audio and visual. You know, you could sit there and like get yourself like tranced watching the dryer like on loop, just nonstop, just pass out that way. It could help people for sure, help them fall asleep.
I trans out on my fish tank all the time.
Dude, man, especially when you get more fish. My fish are so active now. There's a whole bunch in there now. It's pretty cool. I got snails in there and stuff. So
I got a little crab down there. One big claw, one little claw. I spent hours watching him on the bottom.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I used to have
cool.
an albino tree frog, and it was just a little frog that would just swim around all over the place, and it was albino with red eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah, that thing was a trip watching.
all right.
Yeah.
Let's transition to the after show because you know, we've beat this topic and yeah, you guys got things to do and stuff. So I'm just gonna you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. We're gonna say piss off to YouTube. YouTube, piss off.